Okay.
The blanket on Spencer's chair definitely looks like a ghost trying to GM this session.
It is a ghost GMing this session. My character was in that temple and died.
Like 4 of them.
Spoilers.
All of them. Okay. What happened last time?
So last time we fought some Spec
Wait.
Ops.
Hold on. I'm going to do my monster opening ASMR.
I hate it.
Oh, that's on my keyboard.
Oh, rightfully so.
Sounds like kidney failure.
Sound like you crushed someone's head.
My kidneys are already shot. It's fine.
That's why you got 2 of them. Yeah. Anyway.
Right.
We fought some Spec Ops techno military Dwarn infiltrated dudes. There were a variety of types. One of them had a cool little drone thing. One of them was a really big guy with a giant piece of red alchemite who seemed to have the mission of enter the temple, make a hole, put the alchemite in, and everyone vamoose. But they didn't get to vamoose because we killed them all except for Felix's adversary, who ran away.
One of his many adversaries.
One of his many adversaries. I mean, all of this is Felix's fault anyway.
Yeah.
Glad he's dead.
Council ran because he didn't want to be near it and was angry and wanted to kill things. And then Felix and the rest of the group tried to disarm the alchemite. And it seemed successful. They got the little piece off, very clever, using the empty alchemite to absorb the energy and do the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it exploded. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think everything that the party did last session, minus one thing, was fantastic. Just brilliant. Very, very smart.
Was the dying the wrong thing?
The one thing was Tizal flying back into the temple.
Hey guys, what's happening? Boo!
He was
I'm gonna help.
He was safe.
No.
He was as far away from the hole as possible, and then he beelined it back and dove down.
That was a player choice. I was just sick of playing Tizzle. Or was I?
We'll find out. Okay. Anything else? Any other notes?
I'm back and running normally again.
You are.
Yeah, I also took very anemic notes, but yeah, they made it very clear they were there for Felix.
That is possible.
That is possible.
It is one possibility of many. Okay, cool. So the session for today, session number 48, is entitled The Weight of the World.
Oh, goody.
WAIT?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I wasn't being clever this time. Every other time I'm clever. This time I am not. Cool. So, Council. You, leaving the temple, first feel the heat from the blast. Then you hear the explosion. And then you are hit by a wave of force as you are taken off of your feet and sent sprawling into the street, losing grip on both your crossbow and pistol.
Of course.
Just absolutely head over heels, flopping out onto the ground.
And your underwear flies off too.
Yes,
Joke's on you. I didn't have any.
Your head aches after it cracks off of the dirt and stone ground.
Oof.
Your chest, with the large metallic pieces in it, dig a nice little trench in the top layer of soot and dust as you slide across the ground, and the air is knocked completely out of your lungs. Collecting yourself for a few moments, if only to ensure that you are not dead or dying. Despite all of the pain throughout your body, you feel intact. You feel whole again in a way. There are no major lesions that you're aware of aside from those from the surgery. No broken bones to your knowledge. Just pain, which you are an expert at mitigating. Time to move. Your mind races to recover what it knows regarding the last 2 minutes of your very short re-existence. You were dead. There was a fight. There were Dwarn. There was an explosion. Your traveling companions were attempting to disarm an explosive. The Magister was inside. Old Tim, Kaz, Jurgen, Danny, Captain Verneth, all inside. There was also some amount of Dwarn, but you remember killing at least one. You know that there is an army of Dwarn approaching from the west, and there is an army of Non that are approaching from the south. You have been flung down the south roadway. What do you do?
Oh boy. Trying to get back into his headspace here. Do I see any enemies in my immediate vicinity?
Make me a perception check with disadvantage. There's a couple things that are working against you in this circumstance. One, it is nighttime. It is very, very late nighttime, so there is not very good lighting within the city, minus the little street lights. And there is a lot of dust and smoke and debris in the air right now. Your visibility is incredibly low.
Okay. That's an 11. And that's a 2. So I'm just gonna say this. Yeah, I got an 8.
Looking for enemies in your direct vicinity, you don't see any.
Okay. Do I see the temple? Like looking behind me?
Standing up, turning around, looking, the temple itself, what you see is the temple is perfect and pristine. Looks like nothing has happened to it at all.
Council vaguely remembers our first attempts at getting through the wall of the temple, like session 3 or 4. And no matter what magic we used, the temple was very, rejective of it.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kind of like, maybe it's indestructible. Maybe everything inside was cooked. He's gonna go toward the temple.
Walking towards the temple, or where you can remember seeing where the door was. It's very hard to see now, because of lighting and soot and all that stuff. It's kind of like if you've ever been somewhere where there is a forest fire going on, and the fog or the smoke is so thick in the air that you can barely see multiple feet in front of your own face.
Right. Okay.
You
Oh,
walk.
before he goes back, he's gonna look for his weapon and his shield.
Okay. Yeah. I assumed you collected your crossbow, pistol, shield. You walk about 15 feet towards the temple, just kind of tentatively, hands out in front of you, making sure you're not going to run into anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you take a step, and there is nothing for you to step on.
What?
And you essentially make me a dexterity saving throw.
With disadvantage because I have staples in me?
No, just normal.
That's a 12 saving throw.
Yeah, saving throw.
17.
17. You catch yourself from falling, and what you can see now beneath your feet is there is a crater.
What?
that sticks out about 30 feet from the outside walls of the temple. And it's at least a 10 to 15 foot drop before there is any more earth underneath it.
So it looks like what would happen in Council's mind if the temple was indestructible,
Mm-hmm.
but everything around it wasn't.
Correct. Yeah, there is absolutely a massive hole where the dirt underneath the temple used to be, but the temple is still sitting perfectly intact on top of it.
Do I see any supports? Is it floating? I know I can only see like
You're
10
going to
feet.
be like traveling to try and find that out, or you're going to stay where you are?
I'm gonna stand for about 30 seconds and listen,
Okay.
just to see if there's any shouting or fighting, like metal on metal, anything like maybe some creaking sounds from the stone of the temple, like something grinding. I don't know.
Sure. Make me another perception check. This time it doesn't have to. If you're listening for stuff, just do it without disadvantage.
16 plus what's my perception? 6, 22.
Closing your eyes and listening, standing here at the edge of the crater, there is, despite what just happened, it is silent. You don't hear much of anything.
Do I have any sense of time passed based on my Elm internal clock since the explosion? Like, was I unconscious for any amount of time?
You don't recall going unconscious.
Okay, so I was just blasted away, got up, and
Yeah.
turned around. Okay.
Yeah, the most that has happened maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm going to use the reference. Can I see the door frame in the wall?
You can.
I'm going to use that as reference.
Yeah, I'll say that you can. You can see that there. So in this, there is still a flame that is inside the temple
Mm-hmm.
on a sconce that's next to the door, and that is giving the door frame enough light to be able to see that. Okay, that is where a door is.
Is there a bottom? Does it look like it is now? Like there's no floor?
There is no floor. Yeah, it looks like it is now.
Okay. Just so in case stuff does fall while he's exploring, he's going to walk in with the door on either side. So if it goes down very Acme style, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's gonna very carefully go in. Right now, he's a total mess of emotions, and he's kind of like muttering to himself. He's just kind of a little twitchy, but he's got one thing in his mind, and that's the compass. So he's gonna go look for that.
Okay. So climbing down into the pit, why don't you make me either an acrobatics or athletics check?
It's
Athletics.
the only thing on his mind. Not his friends, his party.
Council doesn't have friends.
He doesn't have friends. He has traveling companions that sometimes get in the way.
I see how it is.
Or get
21
21. Okay.
athletics.
Yeah, you're able to climb safely down into the pit. And you can feel from the point that you climb down to, this is it's almost spherical in nature. Like
Yeah,
it's a sphere that has been flattened out somewhat because exploding outwards is certainly through air is harder or is easier than exploding downwards through dirt.
Right.
So the crater that you are in, it's almost like oval on the bottom and then more circular that exploded upwards. So you're climbing through a flattened circle, but you are able to find your way safely down to that plane.
I'm just gonna poke around, see if I can find anything that hasn't been completely glassed.
Okay. Make me. Is there a particular area you're looking around, or is there?
The bomb was being disarmed near the center, so he's gonna head to the center, and then he's gonna head right toward the entrance where the Magister and Kaz were.
So you're getting down in here.
Yeah.
You're gonna go towards where the bomb was. Okay. So you are walking downward until essentially you reach a point where you're not sloped downward anymore. Are you being stealthy when you're doing this? Are you just walking?
No, he's not in the right headspace right now to be stealthy, so he's just walking.
Okay. Go ahead and just make me a perception check if you're just looking for anything down there.
Ooh, 12 plus 6, 18.
18. Walking down into this pit, there is debris everywhere. All of the features that were not made of stone within the temple are completely gone, just absolutely ashed. So there's no benches, there's no tables, there's no cots or boxes or benches or shelves. All that stuff is completely gone.
Jeez.
But there is just a ton of stone and sand. There are large pieces of stone, smaller pieces of stone. And making your way down to this point, you pass by a couple larger pieces of rubble, but you don't see really anything of note up to this point.
Okay.
Getting down to that point in the center, though, you do see almost immediately left and in front of you is the large stone table that was in the middle of the temple.
Yeah.
It has fallen and just it also has remained perfectly intact, but the ground underneath it is gone. So it just fell essentially down to where it is now and resting.
Jeez. Having a decent idea on how explosions work, he's going to assume that there isn't going to be anyone at the epicenter. They would have been blown away or completely disintegrated. He's going to head to his right toward the entrance.
So heading this way.
Yeah, and check the rooms for Magister, Danny, or Kaz. While
Okay.
he's moving, he's going to look for signs of Felix's armor or like Ishmael's sword. So anything metal that might have survived to give like an indication of where they might have fallen.
Okay. Why don't you make me a perception check again
Yeah,
as you're just kind of making your way up towards the entrance?
15.
15. Okay. Yeah, again, you see lots of debris in here. You don't immediately see anything that sticks out as that like bone armor that you have seen Felix wearing almost the entire time you've known him.
Okay.
You do eventually find your way up to a lip again of where the explosion reached inside the temple. So the explosion itself, what you can see now is that it didn't engulf the entirety of the temple. It seems to have been almost that all of that main room,
Mm-hmm.
and then the front portions of the temple are rather untouched. So if you want to climb out of the pit and go search for Danny and the Magister and whatnot, you can.
He's gonna head to the right instead of trying to climb. He doesn't feel like trying to jump up and extend his skin with staples in him is a good idea right now.
Okay. So you're gonna head right underneath here.
Yeah.
So as you're making your way then around the lip of the explosion area, what you can see is that when you pass underneath this wall, again, the you can see the inside of this room now.
Mm-hmm.
You can't see any of the stuff that's up in the room, but this room, the inside of the walls, it doesn't look like it was touched in any way, aside from this portion of earth that has been evaporated.
Okay. Council's gonna call out for the Magister.
Again, not being silent or anything. You're just
Nope.
you call out for the Magister. Wait a few seconds.
Yeah.
And then you hear footsteps on the top of the up here. At the top of the exploded part. So where the ground normally was.
Yeah.
Outside the crater.
The old floor.
Yeah. You hear footsteps approaching. And then you hear Council.
I'm here,
Is
Magister.
that you?
It is.
What happened?
Ah,
I know.
a piece of alchemite the size of Ishmael went off.
I,
Are you and Danny well?
yes, a bit shooken up, but we're okay. We seem to have been outside the blast radius. Oh, are you going to go far? I'm going to go check on old Tim and the others.
I won't move for now. I have seen no signs of my companions.
I hope that something remains.
I will remain here while you check.
You hear the steps then on the dirt above you start to get further away. And then listening in, you can start to hear some voices talking from that direction.
Okay.
So you know that he is at least has found the others, and he's able to converse with them. No more than 2 to 3 minutes goes by before he comes back. He says, "All right. They also appear to be well. If again not a bit shook up. Is there anything I can do to help from up here?"
If you have no sign of my companions, then probably not. The lives of Danny and the others are more important. I would take yourself and Danny to the other citizens and see if you can protect them and get them out of the city. Or at least prepare to negotiate with whomever wins the conflict.
That's not a bad idea. Let me at least give you this. And he produces a small ball of light that
Cool.
kind of floats. That's the word. Down to you, and it just kind of like follows you around, almost like a little like fairy light that's just kind of there.
I appreciate
hopefully
that.
that'll help you to see a bit better.
I'm sure it will.
I'm going to try and get the others out the front door.
Be careful. If that is occupied, this ledge leads to the side doors, which are open.
I don't think we'd be able to reach them without coming down into the crater.
Well, it's potentially better than scaling dirt is potentially better than facing armored Dorn.
That's very true. See if old Tim and Jurgen are up for it. Otherwise, the rest of us should be fine.
All right. I'm going to keep on my search.
Right.
Good fortune to
We
you.
will catch you on the other side.
We'll see.
Let us know if you find anything if we're still here.
I will be sure to check in before I leave.
You again hear him turn and walk away.
Consul's trying his best not to say terrible things during that conversation. But he returns to Searching. He's gonna kind of do radial circles. It's gonna go back to the middle and just spiral out.
Go back to the middle and spiral outward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since time doesn't really matter to him right now.
Walking your way back down to the middle. Which way are you starting?
Counterclockwise circles. So like 3 rings up does a ring, and then
So
like another
going
3
that
rings
way.
up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Go ahead and make me another perception check.
To the center to search in spirals. Perception. Hadoo. Oh, natch 20.
Natural 20. Nice. You circle and don't find anything. Circling again, you can hear on your second pass around sounds of struggle at the front door. You can hear what sounds like a loud metal pipe being dropped on the ground out of a door that potentially you put there to bar
Oh.
the entryway.
Okay.
And then you hear a door open and footsteps away into the night,
Okay.
just kind of echoing down throughout the temple. As you get to this point in your circle, you find a medium-sized piece of debris. And as you kind of go to move around it and to like maybe like try to pick it up, roll it over, try to see what's underneath it, as you reach down, you actually see that this piece of debris is Felix's armor.
Oh, jeez.
You find that what used to be a very like stark white, very, very like calcium rich bone armor now is white with lots of charring and ash, and there are bits that are broken off, and there's exposed under leather work and some pieces of metal and wiring that are exposed. But you also see where one of the arms comes down to a glove. Normally the glove is missing, but there is a hand that is exposed from beneath.
Council kind of twitches a bit and just stares at it for about 30 seconds before he tries to remove the helmet.
Okay. Make me. Are you doing it through brute force, or are you going to try and find like the proper mechanisms to be able to
No, he's not going to force it. Yeah, he's going to see if any latches or maybe seeing how Felix might have done it.
Okay. Make me an intelligence check.
All right, I'm rolling like a god tonight. 19 plus 2, 21.
21. Felix, with a 21, do you think he would have been able to find a way to get the helmet off?
He could maybe figure out how to get the visor open because the helmet's kind of just part of the armor.
Okay, yeah. He's just trying to get access to his face.
Okay. Yeah, you can see where the visor is. The visor is cracked. It's just absolutely spiderwebbed. But you are able to jerry rig it open. You're able to pry it open.
How's his face look?
Inside, you see the face of Felix.
Okay, no blood coming out of the nose, anything from the eyes, ears, to internal bleeding.
Make me an investigation check.
Okay, that was a bad roll.
Or medical check, whichever you want to do.
Oh, they're both +2, so an 8.
8.
I just can like palm his face. Like, is it wet?
You don't find any blood. There's no immediate sign of trauma. You do, similar to the bone armor itself, there appear to be like somewhat burnt parts of his skin because he has really pale skin. And there are, especially on like the extremities, so the parts that are farthest from his core, so like the tip of his nose, you can see a little bit on his cheekbones, maybe his brow. There is more of an ashy appearance, almost like it like singed, like he put his face over a bonfire, that he threw some bug spray into when he was at scout camp.
I put my fingers on his neck and see if he's got a pulse.
Make me a medicine check.
Woo! Oh, jeez, 12.
It's not a very high DC. Putting your fingers down, you find a pulse.
Whoa.
I grab the collar of his armor and give him a rattle.
Okay.
Sugar.
Okay. Yeah. You shake his body, but there's no response.
Do I have anything that can help him? No, I do not. I use my cartographer school tools to map his face. No, I'm just kidding.
You stab him in the eye with a quill.
I'm going to drag him to the table and kind of prop him up so he's like sitting up, just in case he throws up or something, doesn't drown himself.
Okay. Yeah. You drag him up down and over to the table. Are you trying to get him on top of the table or just up against
No,
the table?
he's like sitting up against it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you drag him into a sitting position at the table. What's your passive perception?
Passive perception, pretty high actually. 16.
16. After you drag him over, you begin to hear the sounds of movement outside the temple.
Frick.
Around, especially like around the lip of the crater.
Does Felix have the compass on him?
Make me a. You're gonna search him for it.
I ate it.
It's
in my
Put it
tummy.
in his butt.
I squeeze him like a tube of toothpaste. 15. You said investigation?
Investigation
Plus
or perception, really.
Oh, well, perception.
I'd allow
plus
either.
6. 21.
21. Searching around long enough on Felix's person, yeah, you're able to find the compass.
Now's your chance to leave.
The voices are at the edge of the crater?
So you hear sounds of movement. If you'd like to listen, you could try to hear voices.
Yeah, I'll take like 10 seconds to just listen to see if they're coming closer.
Okay.
Excuse me.
You, after giving Felix's body a once over and finding what you're looking for, kind of pause, hold your breath, listen. Make me another perception check.
Oh boy, so many rolls. 14.
14.
Yeah.
You hear voices, but they are not common. They are not speaking a language with which you are familiar. I don't believe. What languages do you speak?
I speak Eln and Hune, and Aran.
Okay, yeah. Speaking languages that you don't understand.
Having been in Touchstone, do I recognize the dialect?
No.
Does it sound guttural like when we fought the Nan several times?
Using your keen mind of your elm, it sounds more like non than Dwarn.
That's actually worse. I pat Felix in the face. Pat. Are you wakey wakey eggs and bakey?
Trying to gently wake him up is not having any effect
Okay.
at this point.
Is there any space under the table?
You could certainly try and make some.
I kind of want to stash him so he has enough
Okay.
oxygen, but kind of like put some like dirt around him.
Okay,
Like if he wakes up, he should be able to get out. But I want it to like not look like there's something that's obvious here.
I gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
But
But
yeah, so using the table and kind of like with the different pieces of debris that are around it, you're able to create something of like a little crevice to stash Felix's body in.
does it sound like the voices are from all over the crater, like all around?
Before you started trying to hide Felix's body, they were central just on that southern portion where you came into the temple. But as you have been trying to make me a stealth check, by the way, while you're doing this, unless you're not caring.
You'll be a little quieter now. 17.
17. As you are trying to stealthily stash Felix's body, there is more voices and more sound that is coming from all around the temple now. Or at least it is starting to make its way all around the temple.
Knowing that the non have a penchant to pocket shiny things and how detrimental it would be to lose the compass, he's going to pocket it.
Okay.
And then he's going to. Oh gosh, what would council do? Man, I'm having a hard time with this one. He's just gonna head toward the main entrance, to where the quiet voices are the quietest.
Towards where they're the quietest is actually going to be the north side of the temple.
Right. Okay. So feasibly, knowing he's not as strong as Ishmael, he wouldn't be able to drag Felix out of the crater in a reasonable amount of time, right?
Okay.
Like, do I get that feeling as an elven man carrying a power armored dwarf?
You have, being as familiar with the battlefield as you are, I mean, you have seen some pretty crazy things when people are on adrenaline.
Okay.
You're not certain. It's not a surefire thing, but it's also not an absolute failure.
Not being in the mind to gamble right now, especially considering his state, he's just gonna go.
Okay. Okay. So
He makes sure Felix can breathe in his little dirt table cave, and then heads up north.
okay. Make me your. I'm assuming again you're wanting to be stealthy while you're doing this. Okay. Go ahead and make me another stealth check. Please tell me it's nat 1.
It's a 2. 7.
Okay. 7. As you are making your way up the bottom of this crater, you do end up like kicking over some rocks that then like tumble their way down. So there is a lot of like echoing of like gravel falling back down towards the epicenter of this crater. You stop and kind of like hold your breath for a moment, and you can hear the voices, which up to this point were making their way around the temple. They also stop, and there's just kind of this uncomfortable silence.
I'm not going to move until I hear them move. Also, quick check, is my compass still enchanted by Felix's repeat shot thing?
Your compass?
Not my compass, my crossbow. It has Does it have the repeating crossbow infusion?
Hang on, there's rules for this.
Yeah. Look that
I
up.
think
Because that's a pretty big determining factor in my ability to fight off multiple non. If it does exist, I can fight off a lot. If it doesn't, I can fight off maybe 5.
Just
We
start
won't need-
shooting.
We won't need Tailspire, he said.
Yeah.
There won't be combat, he said.
okay. Here's the line in the rule book. Your infusion remains in an item indefinitely, but when you die, the infusion vanishes after a number of days equal to your intelligence modifier, minimum of 1 day. So,
So it's gone. No, I'm just
so
kidding.
no. If even if Felix is dead, it would take 5 days for it to disappear.
Okay. So it's still active.
So it's still active.
All right. Cool.
That being said, the voices around the edge of the pit do resume
Okay.
after 30 seconds of silence and just listening. You hear first some sounds to your right, more towards the entrance where Danny and the Magister and them left out of,
Mm-hmm.
than like directly behind you or in front of you or anything. And then there is a little bit of sound of voices behind you as well, where you came down into the crater. And then there is just continued chatter at that point. It seems that your blunder has gone unnoticed, or at least uncapitalized on.
And it's still kind of coming from all around the place.
It hasn't reached the north edge yet, but it is at least at the south, east, and west entrances.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. If it gets too bad, Council's mind right now is, I need to get out of here. But if it gets too bad, I'm gonna make them think everything in here is dead, and he's just gonna wait. So, another attempt at moving out.
Okay. Getting to the outside of this pit, you do. So the Magister gave you the little light that was following with you.
Hmm.
Are you wanting to extinguish that? Are you wanting to keep it? Are you?
I think Council thinks that competent numbers would be more important for survival than anything right now. So I'm actually going to retract what I said, and he's going to, as he's going to leave, he's going to think like, oh, I need strength right now more than anything. And if Felix is alive, then maybe the others could be alive. So instead of leaving, he's going to search for Wander Tizal and Ishmael.
Okay. So you make it part of the way up, and then change your mindset. Make me another stealth check. Are you going back to your traveling in circles?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
the most effective way to go.
I'm curious what the bodies not in an armored suit will look like if and when you find them.
24.
24 for your stealth check?
Oh, for stealth, sorry. I rolled an 18 plus 5, so 23.
Oh, okay.
I thought that was perception.
You are much more mindful of your footsteps as you're making your way around the crater this time, making sure not to kick any debris and tumbling back down towards the middle. And you're able to move very stealthily. Go ahead and make me a perception check now if you're looking for bodies.
18.
18? Out. Back over on the side where you found Felix's body, a little further up, you do find another piece of debris that looks very odd to you. It looks, as far as you could tell, all of the wood that is in the temple is gone, except
no.
for what appears to be a long log that has a couple of extra branches and stuff on top of it. And you do find Wander's body.
Yay! I use a bit of my. Well, first I nudge him to see if he wakes up.
Yeah, you nudge him, and there is no sign of movement. When you like, kind of, do you nudge him with like your foot or hands, or how
I'm
are
gonna
you?
like kneel down and like give him a shake with my hands.
Okay. As you kneel down, you get close to him, and you're kind of shaking him with your hands. You can see that glow that like normally comes out from between the pieces of bark that make up his body.
Hmm.
It has taken on a deep orange, like a burnt orange appearance. And when you shake and touch him, it does get ever so slightly brighter. But other than that, there's no signs of movement or life from him.
I'm gonna pour a little bit of my water skin on his face, like a third of a cup or something.
Okay, sure. Cool. Yeah, you take a water skin, dump it on him. At that point, I would say Wander probably does rouse.
Crikey! Good day, mate. I mean,
Wander shouts as soon as he wakes up.
yeah, Wander just looks around. It doesn't say anything, just looks around.
You seem to be alive, but are you sane?
Certainly, I don't know why I wouldn't be.
You're orange instead of green.
Interesting. Okay. Sounds good.
Wander, looking down at your own body, you can see the orange glow coming from your own body. You also notice that all of your leaves are gone. You are just barren.
Is that like being naked to a Torn?
It's like shaving your entire body.
This is. Perhaps I will need a cloak.
Council just seems to be staring at him for a bit, like his head's twitching a little bit.
What happened? Do you know the status of the situation? Are the Non or Dwarn approaching?
I found Felix. Felix is under the table. He's alive.
Others survived as well. Okay. Shall we continue to? Are there more to be found?
You are the second I have found. We are surrounded by Non. Do not be loud.
Fair enough. Should we stick together in search or form a pattern?
Council doesn't respond. He just kind of wanders off and goes back to searching. He's kind of whispering to himself. The whole time he's like,
Wanders in a very dazed state and kind of wanders off in a different direction, searching.
Too far off. All right. Wander is now alive as well. Are you going back to your circular search?
yeah, he's kind of leaving a foot trail to kind of make a spiral pattern so you can see where he's been.
Okay. Wander, are you heading the opposite direction from him or heading?
Yeah, if if I notice, if he still has the light is still following him, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. If I notice the pattern he's making, I would mimic the same pattern.
Try and shove Felix under here.
Go in your hole.
Let's see, I can do this, right? No. Sure. All right. You're just going there. There. There you go, Felix. Okay, so you guys are traveling opposite directions. Why don't both of you make me perception checks? Wander, you can be at disadvantage. Council, you'll just be normal check. 'cause you're
14.
What was that?
14.
14.
12.
14 and 12. Making your way around, you don't find another body on this series of passing. But you do start to hear other sounds from around the top of the crater. The creator. And you hear what sounds like fighting.
Hmm.
And it's coming from the west side of the temple.
Taking a moment to listen, does it sound like any of the weapons we heard in the temple, like the fire stream launcher, or like the drone going off, or the drills?
You don't hear those type of weapons. You hear more traditional crossbows, swords, pole arms, hammers, like
Okay.
more martial combat,
For
less
the west side of the.
scientific combat,
Okay.
less biological warfare or chemical warfare.
Council's going to assume it's the non-fighting the Dawn. The regular Dawn, not the Breaker Spec Ops guys. And continue searching.
Wander, what are you doing?
I continue to circle around and look for my compatriots.
Okay. Yeah, you guys meet back up. Council, do you inform Wander on what your conclusion is regarding the sounds, or?
Nope.
Okay. Both of you make me a couple more perception checks.
More than one?
Just one each.
Ooh, much better. 14 plus 6, 20, just 30, 20.
17.
17. You actually, let's see, because Council, you are going this way. You're walking the counterclockwise pattern. So Wander, you are up higher over here. Wander, as you make your way around this side of the temple, you find a very large piece of debris that, upon further investigation, you recognize to be the body of Ishmael.
Ooh.
Which you note has several physical changes as well, similar to your own. You can see that he has what's that skin disease where like you'll have like patches of like different colored skin. I don't remember what that's called.
Oh,
I know what you're talking about. I can't
I
think
know
of
what
it
you're
either.
talking about.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it is, but he has like that. So he is a very like olive complexioned man.
Vitiligo.
Yes. There you go. And he has these patches of skin. You can see that like he doesn't wear much of clothing in the first place, being the barbarian that he is. But he has these patches of skin that are different colored. Some appear to be more like darkened, almost like a charcoal, where you can see almost like little cracks of like ember of light from underneath. Others are very like ghostly white, more like charcoal that has been burnt out and is now like sitting gotten cold.
Cool.
And you notice just off of the upper half of his body, there is just kind of a vapor of smoke that is constantly rising off of him, just
Whoa.
adding to the atmosphere.
I try and rouse him.
Okay.
I shake him. I don't make a lot of noise. I nudge him with my foot, and if he doesn't wake, I grab him by the shoulder as best I can and see if I can shake him.
Okay. Yeah, trying to rouse him, make him awake, any of that. Nothing is working immediately to get him going. By that time, Council, you've probably made your way around the rest of the circle and have gotten to this point and can now see Wander standing over Ishmael's body.
Council looks at Ishmael and then looks at Wonder. You both appear to be marked by noon.
We are.
Were you approached?
It was that or death.
I would have chosen death.
I didn't have much time to make a decision.
Council tilts his head. At what cost?
Truly, I don't know. Perhaps he will overtake me. I will fight him for as long as I can. I want to save all of the peoples of this world.
Risk. Always risk.
It appears he accepted the bargain as well. Clearly marked. How did you wake me?
I poured water on your face. I'm starting to regret it.
Do we want the barbarian awake or not?
He is useful. So yes. Council pours a little bit of water on his face. See what it does.
Pouring a little bit of water on his face, it clears away some of the ash and soot that's on him, but it doesn't immediately rouse him the way that it did Wander. You do notice also as the water like hits Ishmael's skin, it sizzles a little bit. There's just a little.
Keep trying to wake him. I will look for Tizzle.
At this point, the fighting is much closer. You can hear it like right on the edge of this western side of the pit. Which you do note that it does not go all the way to the outside.
Yeah.
So the pit is within the walls of the cathedral, of the temple. And you can hear the fighting is very close to the temple.
Okay. Quickly checking the compass. I'm assuming it's not damaged.
Looking the compass over. Make me an investigation check. Or perception check. Yeah, perception would actually be the right one.
21.
21. Looking it over, it doesn't appear to be damaged.
Okay. And because he doesn't want to mess with the attunement, he goes and puts it back on Felix's body for now.
Okay.
Just because last time we had to go find the Magister and undo it and redo it and all that. Yeah. And then,
you guys are looking for Tizal's body, you said?
Yeah, Council's going to keep looking. He's going to keep an ear out for the combat to see if it gets, like, into the pit. But for now, he's going to assume everyone else assumes everything in the temple is dead, which is just gonna work into that.
Ignorance is your enemy in this moment.
Right.
Okay. You continue to search. Make me a perception check. Wander, are you joining in that search, or you're going to keep trying to rouse Ishmael?
No, I'm going to keep working on Ishmael.
Okay.
17.
I'm going to... I try and shove some food in his mouth.
Okay. You open his mouth. What food do you have to give him?
I have a good berry or two lying around.
Here's 24 hours of food.
I mean,
I kind of break it into a smaller piece and put a little piece in there.
Since the good berries do have a healing property to them, they do rouse Ishmael after basically jamming them in and like kind of mushing his head up and down to like make him chew and kind of make a good berry slurry in his mouth.
You gotta pre-chew it and then give it to him.
You just
Like
have
a
to
bird.
puke it into his mouth like a bird.
Mama bird it.
Oh god, that's the worst.
Where do you think good berries come from?
Oh no.
Do I need to make a Constitution save myself?
Go for it. Okay, so while you were doing that, Council, you are looking for Tizal, and you rolled a 17, you said?
Yeah.
Looking around the rest of the temple, or at least far enough within the walls of the temple that you're not getting up next to the borders of the pit where potentially someone would look in and see you.
Yeah.
You find no other debris or other bodies.
My last memory of Tizol was that he was flying above the alchemite. I look for any splatter marks on the walls or ceiling.
Okay,
Like someone throwing a water balloon full of chili against the wall.
sure.
Chili and feathers.
Yeah, make me another perception check.
Council's looking around, he's like, oh wait, he was in the air. 21.
21. The walls are really far away from where you are, and the ceiling is even further. So you're not able to see much of anything.
I return to Wander and Ishmael.
By the time you return to Wander and Ishmael, Wander is getting Ishmael roused. He's starting to come around. You can kind of see his eyes like rolling around as he's beginning to regain consciousness.
Can you do the same for Felix?
Certainly. If you can point me in his direction.
I go to the table, I grab an ankle, and I pull out Felix.
Just you see like this kind of loose pile of like stone and debris just like falls away as the Dwarn body comes out. And you see the broken armor of Felix with Felix inside.
I kind of look at his armor for a little bit, take it all in. I take the other piece of the good berry that I have and even more carefully put it into his mouth. I'm trying to figure out how to get my branch fingers kind of moving his jaw inside of his helmet.
The helmet, like through the visor.
The helmet opens up it opens up quite a bit with the visor off.
Okay. So yeah, I make it happen.
But your nude fingers get in the helmet a lot easier.
It's true, you don't have all those leaves getting in the way. Yeah, you are able to similarly get Felix coherent again. Ishmael, you are aware of all of this now. You see the others. They've moved down the crater. You can see everything that everyone else has seen up to this point. There's a lot of dust in the air. It's very dark. The others are down in the middle.
How do I feel from a strength, physically, like a strength perspective? Do I feel like I've been through the ringer, or do I feel okay? Or
Give me a self insight check.
I'm just saying goodnight to the kids real quick.
you said insight. That will be dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely feel beat up.
Okay.
You have felt better in your life. This is certainly not the best you've ever felt. Might be the worst you ever felt. Very
Okay. And up to the blast, is my memory intact? Do I remember all the events leading up to that and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you remember
Okay.
everything as if it just happened, which it did.
Like seconds ago.
Minutes.
So is Wander still near me?
Wander is down helping with Felix.
Oh, he went down too.
You're alone.
I shamble down towards them without really saying much.
Okay. Maybe. Are you being stealthy, or are you just kind of walking?
Just walking.
Okay, cool. Okay. You make your way down into the pit.
I just look at whatever they're looking at again without a word.
And you can see Felix's body as they are starting to get him roused as well.
Is he alive? Pointing to Felix.
He is.
And I
The
look
Nana-
around.
The Nana fighting to the west. It may be the Dawn. It may be the gods.
And Chisol,
No sign of him.
the Magister, and the boy.
Danny, Kaz, old Tim, and Jurgen left before the fighting began. They went to join the rest of the gods and the citizens.
So we're all here except Chisol. Perhaps he flew off in cowardice.
He was above the explosion in the air. I looked for signs of gore on the walls and ceiling, but I did not see any.
He is fast and nimble. Let us hope he took flight.
If the trajectory was lucky, he may have been blown through the hole in the ceiling and landed somewhere on the roof or outside the temple. I am unsure.
Mm.
Felix is our top priority right now, since he has the compass.
I lean down and shake him a bit more, trying to accelerate him waking.
While Ishmael's back is to Council and he's working on Felix, Council's gonna aim his crossbow at the back of his head and kind of like twitch a bit and then put his crossbow away.
Are you doing that trying to hide it at all, or if
It'll be pretty quick. It'll be like, yeah.
in shaking Felix after him taking the good berry, he's definitely coming around, and shaking him seems to at least bring some amount of life back into his body. When his eyes open and he blinks a little bit, you can see the irises of his eyes also have an orange glow to them. So each time he blinks, it's like a little bit of like, you can see orange and then nothing, and then orange and nothing. As his eyes stay open, you can see that orange is just permanently there.
Council. Oh, go ahead.
It appears you also accepted the bargain. Welcome back.
Felix like coughs like dust and debris out, and like stands up, leans against the table, coughs some more. Then he gets his cigar out and takes a puff.
Need that sweet release.
Now he's allergic.
After previously always being horrified by this habit, Wander starts to lean in closer and smell a little bit. It's like,
I see the appeal.
Oh, sweet. What is that? Wow.
Standing back up and looking at Council, Ishmael says, "You've cheated death. How do you feel?"
Unstable.
It is you.
Mostly. Through great effort.
Does Council look or seem different from what I'm used to?
Make an insight check.
Oh, poopy.
Pretty sure he's an elm.
6.
He's a little bit more naked than you remember.
Yeah. Lame. It's a terrible roll.
Council looks at Wander, at the very obvious noon signs, and Felix's eyes, and Ishmael's skin. He sighs, and then goes back to looking for Tizzle. Oh, wait, before he leaves. Felix. The Non are fighting to the west. They may be fighting the Dwarn. They may be fighting the gods. I don't know. The Magister and Kaz and all of them are alive. They left a few minutes ago, before the fighting started.
We should get out of here.
I don't know where Tizzle is.
At that, almost on cue, there is suddenly a light inside the temple. You can see coming from that western door. As the sounds of battle begin to make their way into the temple. And you can see, for those who have dark vision, at least, being just Felix, I'm pretty sure, you can see a tight phalanx of Dwarn have kind of like bubbled their way through the doors and are holding the Non back now.
A Dorn at the door.
Yeah.
The Non are on the other side.
Do we kill them from behind?
How many Dorn do I see?
Looking, you can see about 20.
Do I feel like I can cast any spells? Does dying count as a long rest?
It does not. No, you haven't had a long rest.
We should probably get out of here. I'm in no state to fight. He coughs a little more.
I vote for avoiding the fighting and allowing them to take each other out. Skirt around.
Council looks longingly at the backs presented by the Dwarn, but he agrees.
Maybe correct a misconception I created.
Oh,
you're not seeing any backs.
Right.
It is the Dwarn have made a bubble of they are shoulder to shoulder, and they have created a bubble and are traveling in it.
Okay, got it.
So they are all facing outward.
Cool.
Oh, so they're coming in. So if we can see them, can they see us?
Only Felix can see them right now because of dark vision.
Oh, okay.
They could probably see us if they look.
But yeah, possible.
The north seems to have the least activity.
Let's go then.
You guys take off towards the northern ridge of the crater. Are we being sneaky? Or are we just booking it?
Council will try and be sneaky.
Yeah.
Ishmael's not being stealthy.
Council will wait for Ishmael to
Wander's
go
being
forward,
sneaky.
and then he will be sneaky. With a 23.
Nice.
Follow the big man.
Wow.
Ishmael has his sword drawn too as he's walking.
Oh, I'm proficient in stealth.
Do you have your
Wow.
stealth armor or your heavy armor?
18.
Oh, I don't get to add my. So how does it work? You don't add your proficiency bonus, and it's a max of +2. Is that right?
What armor are you wearing? Or what are we considering it?
I think it's like plate armor when it's in the guardian mode.
If you're doing plate, then that just has a hard cap at 18.
Okay.
You don't get to add a dex. You don't add proficiency.
Oh, okay. So I got a 15 then.
Okay. And you have disadvantage on stealth if you're wearing that armor.
Because clank clank.
A 2 actually.
Okay. Thankfully, they rolled really good. Through the sounds of battle that are kind of on more the western and northern side of the temple right now, you feel like even though you are not being stealthy, the sound of your footprints at this point are kind of hidden just in the general cacophony of other sounds. You, Felix, pick up as you are making your way up the side of the crater the voices of the Dwarn, because they're shouting to communicate with each other, even though they're right next to one another. And there does seem to be one Dwarn in the midst of that bubble who's kind of like calling the shots. And at this point, he's saying, "Spread out, find what you can, see if there's an entrance that's exposed." At which point the bubble, at least on the inside of the temple, breaks. And the Dwarn start to like make their way down into the crater and kind of fan out. Just as you guys are getting up to that northern edge.
Felix is using the compass to find Tizzle right now. Worth it? Or do we wait?
Get an idea while we're running. I think about finding Tizal where he is.
Okay.
Look at the compass.
Okay. Could I get athletic or acrobatic checks from everyone who's trying to get out of the pit?
15.
Ooh, not 20.
Nice.
24.
24.
Jeez.
27.
What? Got Terminator running up this gravel hill.
You guys, like, with regardless of how you physically feel right now, you are able to climb out of that pit with a deftness that you have not exhibited up to this point. It is somewhat miraculous, given your current health and mental state. You're all able to make it out just fine. And if anything, Council is kind of lagging behind until some of the others, probably like Wander and Ishmael, help him up a little bit. Just because Ishmael essentially like put one hand up on top and just like box jumped up on top, standing hoop, true barbarian style, out of the pit. Felix, concentrating on your compass, and you asked what question?
Where's Tizal?
The compass doesn't react.
What?
Does it just kind of keep pointing where it was pointing?
Yeah, it just seems to be like free spinning.
Oh, free spinning.
That's just Tizal flying around in the air.
He's above you, just circling.
Let's
Laughing.
Let's not worry about Tizal right now. We might not need to worry about him.
Where's Tizal's soul? Just kidding.
He had more courage than I did.
I keep running.
Oh,
As
that's
you're
fine.
making your way northward, you can see any of the non that are on this side of the building. They are all facing towards the western side, as if they are like trying to like pile in and surround the Dwarven that are over there.
Hmm.
And so you are able to make your way northward fairly unnoticed.
Yeah, if needed, we can like duck into a building along the road or something.
Yeah, you make it away out of the original like temple square, the big town square there, and you are into the like. Are you going down alleys, or are you sticking on like that main road that goes northward?
If there's any noise nearby,
Which
alleys. But if there's no noise, then there's no point.
Yeah, if there's any sign of
Yeah.
people. Otherwise,
Like, if there's a gaggle of non, it's gonna hide the building, and then when they leave, we'll go back to running.
Agreed, yeah. Fastest path, unless one of the baddie groups are nearby.
I guess the non would be a school, maybe fish based.
Oh, yeah. I see what you do.
just sticking on that one.
I love animal group name.
And not change anything. Okay. All right. Yeah, as you exit the town square as well, you are almost immediately trudging through that brackish water that is just kind of collected in the northeastern side of the town.
Do we meet up with the Magister and the rest of the townsfolk in the northwest, or wherever they may be? Or do we go our own way, rest, and plan after that?
Have we been a blessing or curse to them up until this point?
Probably the latter.
Let's remove ourselves from this situation and cause no further harm.
well, at least make sure we make sure our boats are all right.
If
That
it's
should be our next
moving,
priority.
we would have to leave the city. And the only way out from here is west.
You make a good point.
I get shot with an AA cannon, apparently.
Sorry.
Council explodes.
That's exactly right. No, you make your way out of the town. You're headed northward. You said you were going to join up with the rest of the folks. I don't.
No, we're deciding if that's what we want to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
you were still deciding on that.
Our plans have not changed, have they?
No.
Then we should leave.
But the entrance to where we need to be is the temple, Ishmael.
There's a western exit where the Dorn are flooding into. There's a southern exit that the Non are flooding into. There's a hole through the ground that I would imagine is somewhat occupied by Dorn at the moment, and water filled by a kraken. Unless anyone thinks they've pieced together how to get into the heart of the world from here at this point, but I'm pretty sure we're going to need the walking stick.
I think the non entrance might be less guarded than the Dwarn.
So we would need to go. How do we get south from here?
We could scout the west entrance on our way down.
We could.
Because I don't know how thinly spread the Dwarves' forces are.
And we could use, if the west entrance is unoccupied, we could leave through it, go north, get on the ship, sail around Orin to the south, and enter through the southwest gate.
That would work. I would say, yeah, we should certainly see if we can get out the west entrance undetected. If we can't, the other alternative, if everyone feels comfortable swimming, we could essentially travel the same route we did when we turned this dome on, if y'all remember that far back, and then just swim to shore and make our way north and see if we can signal Sledge.
I believe that is currently the non-encampment.
Bad idea. Okay.
I think.
The
Go ahead.
the non have not proven too much of a barrier for us in the past. If we are to swim, I am happy to do so, but getting our ship may be the best bet.
Agreed.
It's the fastest and potentially safest transportation. As much as I love to use this, and he holds aloft his sword, we may be facing the rare circumstance I find myself in of being outnumbered.
You also just all recovered. All of us have recently recovered from death. We need rest before we engage.
I fear death no more than a spider crawls along the ground.
Yet you came back.
I did. I am here to continue on. Without
Death
fear
offers-
from death.
So death offered some sort of sting for you to want to avoid it. But enough philosophy at the moment. Let's see if we can get towards the western gate.
Our highest priority right now is leaving the city. So let's scout the west gate.
Should we rest first?
The boat isn't far if we want to make it there, and we could rest on the ship.
But if we encounter trouble on the way out, I am not in a
Okay.
great place to fight right now.
How much HP do I have?
You're all basically at like 1.
Oh,
Except
okay.
Council, you have whatever you had at the
Yeah,
end.
I'm at 89, but I'm also naked. Oh. Again, I had my armor for 1 session.
That was one too many.
I just the worst feeling.
And we could rest for just a bit. And in the heat of battle, a lot can change, but an hour can also be a very small period of time in a battle.
The likelihood of them checking each individual one of these small duplicate homes is unlikely. Let's find one that's reasonably dry and rest for as long as we can.
Agreed.
We'll certainly be more apt to fighting after that.
As you're heading straight north to find a place, or are you trying, like, you've gotten far enough away from the center of town and now you're going to cut west to try and find somewhere to?
Kind of following the water northwest,
Okay.
and then like until it's reasonably quiet. I'm just picking one of the many houses kind of out of the way.
Sure. You actually end up finding yourself in the neighborhood of Joan's shop. Her
Okay, yeah.
blacksmith shop, which you find is empty, but it is empty both of friends and of foes. So that might be maybe the most appropriate place. It has 2 stories where you could kind of spread out however you want to rest best.
Have a look out.
Before we rest, Felix, can you use the compass to think of the easiest way to enter the heart of the world?
I think of the easiest way to enter the heart of the world.
Thinking is that with the dirt moved, maybe a new hole has been opened, and it just points back to the temple. Because before we needed a key,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it. That's an interesting phrasing. The easiest way to enter the heart of the world. I think the compass would begin to spin for a moment. And then it would point southeast.
The way we just came from?
No.
Oh.
So maybe more east, southeast.
Towards the center of the city, like the very center, where the Kraken is.
It's certainly in that general direction.
Okay. That doesn't help.
We just gotta go past the Kraken. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
we're so
only
small,
miles
right?
long.
That's not going to notice us.
Yeah, you guys are so small.
What's the best place to hide a magic portal? In a Kraken's stomach. That's the best place to hide a portal.
True.
Now you're thinking in portals.
The closer you are to danger, the farther you are from harm. Okay, council gets ready to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah, Ishmael lays down.
We gonna do watches at all?
I don't think we should. We should accelerate this rest as quickly as possible.
Well, there's eagerness and then there's foolishness. We will absolutely have to leave someone on watch.
Yeah, rules is written. You can get full night's rest with watches.
It's true.
You have to take 10 hours to do it.
Are we planning to just rest for an hour?
It's the middle of the night. I was planning to sleep.
Think of full rest.
I could use sleep.
All right, I'll take first watch.
I'll take second.
I can take a watch as well. Ishmael lays down.
All right, Wander. You are up for first watch. Are you going to take that from within the house? Are you going to be outside? Are you going to be on the roof?
Yeah, I will go on the roof.
Okay.
I will keep close watch. I start by bringing out my scrimshaw and looking at it.
We've only seen that once this campaign.
True. You are okay. Pulling out your scrimshaw and looking at it in this location, you can see the lines, which are at the point you pull out the scrimshaw, they are more of almost like a tribal-esque, just kind of like pattern of lines begin to rearrange themselves into a very almost caveman-esque picture of a figure with long hair. And they seem to be in the act of swinging some kind of weapon or tool.
Makes sense, given where we are.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wonder continues to keep a close watch. He will do a little bit of journaling every once in a while. He has the look of a pensive teenager, but hasn't picked up quite enough Elm to have a really expansive vocabulary. So he's just angstily writing down a phrase or two here or there as he's keeping watch.
Today Mondo sucked.
Dear Dead Journal.
Covered in many ouchies. Super lame.
Why don't you make me a perception check with disadvantage?
Okay.
1, because I'm assuming you don't cast dark vision on yourself.
Nope.
And 2, because you are slightly distracted by your other activities.
Indeed. That would be a 7.
7. Okay. Not long after you put your scrimshaw away, you begin to hear some sounds down in the darkness around the base of the building. You first hear to the east, so more towards the direction that you guys came from. There is the sound of movement through the water. And then there is more sound of like steps on dry ground behind you, more towards the west.
Okay.
And they seem to be getting closer and closer to where you are. Before you are even able to react to what is going on, you start to notice within this bubble, the dome that you're in, you begin to see some clouds forming above you.
Weird.
And then you are made deaf as there is a large peal of thunder and a crack of lightning that strikes 6 figures that were surrounding the building. In getting up to look, at which point the rest of you can't sleep through this either. Wander, looking around at the base of the building, you can see there are 6 non-figures that have just dropped where they were, just completely fried. And looking off in the distance a little ways, about 20 feet, you can see there's another figure.
Another. Can I tell? Is it non or Dwarn?
Make me a perception check with the lightning, the strike of it. The light obviously didn't stick around.
21.
We'll see what you can pull out. 21.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the figure, you can see a non that appears to be wearing some kind of armor that is staring almost directly where you and the others are. Everyone else waking up, you just heard this peal of thunder, and you are awake. What do you do?
Do I recognize this character?
You are inside the house, so you don't see anything.
Oh.
At this point.
No.
I mean, I grab my weapon and go outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody kind of makes their way to different exits of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hastily so. I'm not being stealthy or anything, and prepared to help Wander or fight back against whatever's there.
Okay.
Wander makes his way downstairs, hopefully without the figure noticing him.
Okay. You begin to make your way downstairs just as like council is popping up onto the roof through one of the roof hatch that you use to get up there. Ishmael is going out the front door. Felix is probably going out one of the sides. And yeah, you cross paths with council. Ishmael looking out into the darkness. You don't immediately see anything.
I'd say in what I hope is a whisper, but a little bit loud, I would imagine, for how deafening the lightning crack just was. I'd say the lightning struck several of the non who were surrounding us. One well-armored non remains.
Armored non from the city? We've never seen non in armor before, right? Aside from the guards in the Crystal City.
There's some of the non that you have encountered have had clothing.
Right.
They've had different like material adornments. Not many of them wore armor. You did see some when you were actually down in the depths. Certainly, there were the bigger guards that you saw outside the cathedral. Also, just like amidst the massive crowd that was surrounding your ship when it was down there, there were some, but they're few and far between.
Ishmael. Oh, he's talking to his children.
Ishmael has kids.
Ishmael does have kids.
So we can make a decent guess that this non might be from the city, like the non-city in the ocean.
That was Council's first thought, because it's the only time
Yeah.
we've seen non in armor.
That's what I would have wondered, if the non that we fought on the shore were armored like this, or if we only seen them deep in the ocean.
You, as far as you know, you've only seen them deep in the ocean. None of the worshippers of the Kraken to this point have had armor.
Council calls out from the roof with his crossbow and he just shouts, "Speak!"
My name is Barquan.
Oh my god!
I've been sent by Lady Nagrel to help.
Barquan?
Barquan.
Barquan.
BAR.
BAHERQUAN.
Spell that again, please.
BAHERQUAN. Barquan.
Barquan. Oh, it's almost Spanish. I like it. I like it muy much.
Yo soy Barquan. ¿Dónde está la biblioteca?
Non is actually just
Lady Negrel,
Yes.
how did you find us?
She sent me with the waves. I knew you'd be here.
You just used lightning to kill 6 corrupted non.
I suggest we have this conversation in the domicile. If you don't want more to appear.
Welcome. Join us.
Felix like immediately goes to just mending his armor.
Perhaps you can take a watch while we rest.
Council shoots Ishmael in the knee. No, bad barbarian. It's the only. Well, water bottles are ineffective because he's so big and has so much damage reduction. He has to use like hand crossbows. Like.
Right, here we going.
Yeah, you all make your way into Jones' shop.
This is too convenient.
Narunya blesses those that need to be blessed. What happened?
The temple exploded. Well,
Temples
terrain-
don't just explode.
the
What
terrain
happened?
exploded from a large piece of alchemite. These three and myself have recently recovered from death. We have lost a companion, it seems. There's no sign of him. And now, in our most wounded state, when being surrounded by enemies, you show up with a likely answer to our problems.
I am not benevolent. I have no answers. All I know is I was sent to help, and help I will.
Why?
Why was I sent?
Why would you help? You don't know us.
I am sworn to protect Goddess Naruya. Your failure is my failure.
We've been offered much help lately in our quest, and I see no reason not to accept.
I agree. I don't have the energy to be suspicious anymore. We're all exhausted, and there's something strangely familiar.
Without lifting his head from like fixing the glove or the gauntlet, Felix mentions, I'm not normally quick to trust, but he could probably just kill us all right now if he really wanted to.
Ah! Ishmael
It was-
audibly laughs.
I could do that in the morning after you're fully rested, too.
Oh, he kept the ego! That
He-
lightning. How
That
did
was
you
a crack
produce it?
shot. A crack shot with that lightning.
Thank you.
A weapon? Spell? Alchemite?
A blessing.
Religion.
No, we kind of need one of those. We could really use what's that spell?
The gods have been. The gods have bestowed us much lately. It aids us on our quest.
Well,
I'm
Well,
Sound a
truly
little too excited about that.
I will take offerings from any god that aids us in our journey. We have it's a means to an end, and we've come this far. I do not wish to yield. Yet.
clearly.
I know Naruya has done a lot for this group. I hope I can do what she has imbued me with strength to do.
Are you aware of the Titans?
Spencer, would he know? Would he have been briefed? That's one thing I forgot to ask.
Because you said Naruya has helped us a lot, and the council's like, no, she hasn't.
Naruya has helped everyone.
I think that Lady Negrel would have informed Berkan as much as was necessary.
Mhm.
That being said, she probably would have at least mentioned the existence of some other entity. She may not have explained the whole of creation because she is not privy to it herself.
Sure, yeah.
But she would have said that there is a different reason that Lady Naruya has us here in this specific place in the ocean.
Who mentioned the Titans?
Council.
Council.
I said I trust this one, but maybe we settle down a bit until we know more about him.
I I keep doing Tizal's voice. I know no Titan. I'm not aware. I know enough of your journey so far that Lady Nagrel also knows. Once I earn your trust, I'm sure you can tell me more. But I understand why you'd be skeptical to trust a stranger who you just saw kill 6 people with a lightning bolt. And he's going to cast Mass Healing Word.
Wait, hang on. Before you do that, you're in the middle of a building and you start moving your hands and chanting magic words.
Yep.
Okay, I shoot him in the face.
Go for it. Maybe attack roll.
Really?
Here
Yeah,
we go,
of course,
folks.
of
We're
course.
playing D&D again.
A stranger we don't,
I don't
know
blame him.
walks into a building and starts going, Hassan Musuli Nasha! And he comes
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
no!
A stranger casting a spell without saying what they're doing is
I mean,
scary stuff.
You're assuming it's aggressive.
Well, yeah, we don't know this guy. 25.
Hits.
I don't really care about the damage. 9.
Mass healing word is only verbal, by the way.
It's verbal, yeah.
To move his hands.
Right.
Oh, okay. So he
That
just
was-
kind of says a word and it happens.
Assume he's speaking Spanish or something.
Yeah, if he's just speaking, there's no weird hand movement, and I won't.
There's no weird hand movement. He would just be whispering, essentially, like holding onto his chest.
Naruya is neat. Please heal their feet.
Are you right? Are you actually attacking?
No, no,
Okay.
not if he's doing a full spell, like verbal somatic component.
No, if he was doing that, I wouldn't blame you at all. But no.
Starts just drawing a pentagram on the floor.
You guys wait right there.
Cuts his palms, puts it on the ground, starts screaming at the dirt. I'm gonna heal you. Oh!
Ishmael casts Fireball.
Pulls a cat out of a sack and a knife and is like, no!
All right.
Actually, no, I meant Mass Cure Wounds, not Mass Healing Word. Sorry. I'm learning how to play this.
Well, Mass Cure Wounds does have verbal and somatic components. So
It does.
use his hands.
All right, no. Hey, I'm not. No. It's the first one.
Okay.
Control Z.
It's been so long since I played a caster. 9. Everyone gets 9 points back.
9.
All right,
So
10
aside-
now.
A sign of good faith that I am here to help.
Ishmael reaches out a hand to like greet or shake.
Oh, this one I don't like. No.
Traditional greeting.
Yeah, he would shake your hand.
Thank
why
you.
don't you describe what they see? What does this non look like?
Sure. So I'll throw something in Discord.
Ooh,
Get some AI art for us to look at?
So you see basically the top half of this creature in plate, basically full plate, and then the bottom half of his is more like a snake tail, not a long one, but a snake tail.
Oh, like a traditional.
Is it more like what I posted?
Yeah, exactly like what you posted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spencer,
That's
Spencer
him
I was just
casting
trying to
healing
see
word.
this.
That's the word.
he'll-
Something everybody feels better.
You're right, I do.
It's like that every time from now on.
Okay, so he's got like a snake tail, like a yuan tea kind of thing, but aquatic.
Yeah,
Okay,
kind
that's cool.
of like a naga, but the tail's kind of like transparent, and within it you kind of see like water sloshing around.
What? That's weird. Council super distrusts this thing.
Wait,
It's
where
kind
is water sloshing around? I missed
That
that.
is unnatural. You are an
In
abomination.
his semi-transparent tail.
In my thorax, my snake thorax.
Weird.
Oh, that's so
Like
nightmare
a snake
fuel.
bug.
Spencer can say if that's not true because I didn't clear that with him. It's flavor.
So there's like naan and there's like a deep sea anglerfish transparent organ naan, and we get that one.
You could have gotten like the beautiful like mermaid naan. No. You get the anglerfish.
That's horrifying.
And you'll like it.
Council, without a word, just kind of looks at what's his name, Barquan,
Barkwan.
and goes to a floor where he isn't, probably the second floor, and goes back to bed, facing the stairs.
Smart.
It was still my watch. I will continue for now. Marquand, you're welcome to take a rest.
I understand that you would not want to take watch with a stranger, so I will join you. What was your name, friend? A Torn.
Uh,
I've never seen a Torn before. That's fascinating.
Not many have, and I haven't seen very many non until recently, and well, that's enough of that. Yes, you're welcome to watch with me. You can join me on the roof.
Yes. If you're comfortable with such, I will.
I certainly feel better. Thank you for that.
When
Why
we
you
get
gotta
to a
have a
good
9-letter word?
spot, can we take a couple minute break soon?
Oh yeah, good call.
And
I'm still playing Tizol, by the way. I'm not. I'm doing both.
Wait, this isn't Tizol?
he
No.
found a dead non and like skinned it. And it's just like,
He's just been wearing it.
we really botched our
The verbal component of the spell was actually Tizol screeching really loud. You guys just didn't notice.
Luca is overemploymenting D&D. He's playing two characters, but trying to conceal it from all of us.
All right, you can take a break.
Cool.
Okay.
I'll be back here in a few minutes.
May
Okie dokie.
Did you ever find out anything else about your neighbor from the other day?
No,
Oh,
there were just some cop cars, and then that was it. Didn't hear anything else. I don't
Excitement.
know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what happens if you don't pay your HOA fees or if you break a rule and don't comply. But I know they have the means to remove people or at least service them some legal documents. That's what I imagine it was.
Hey.
as of going upstairs, seems our microwave isn't working.
Oh no.
It's super frustrating. So I'll take a look at it more tomorrow, see if I can figure it out. But it's been kind of a little wonky the last few months.
Is it just reaching here? Does it, when you close the door, does the microwave not kick in? Like the light turns on and you hear like a clicking sound?
The light doesn't turn on and the plate doesn't spin, but it
Mhm.
sounds like it's heating up, but it's not actually heating anything up. Like you hear like the fan or whatever turn on where it's
Yeah.
like, but it does nothing.
So
It's
there's
not-
a very, very tiny gap in the way my microwave door. Like if I close the door lightly, it doesn't register that the door is closed, and that happens. So I have to like actually push on the door, and the thing's like, oh, it's closed, and then the microwave will kick on, like the actual microwave itself, the heating element, rather than all the extra
Oh,
stuff. So
I
I was just
will.
wondering if, because mine just got started getting fiddly because it's an older one as well. So just if the door closes all the way and that still happens, then yeah, but might be worth checking.
I'll try that. I'll maybe give it a little more pressure closing it
yeah.
and see if that helps.
Mhm. The door latch is the most frequent thing to break on a microwave, and there's a safety switch so that it can't turn on when the door is
Mhm.
open, so you can't get irradiated. I had a junior high biology teacher. He was a student teacher, telling us he was at a family gathering, and the
Oh,
turkey
no.
wasn't thawed, and the turkey didn't fit in the microwave. So his uncle came over and said, "Oh, don't worry." Took a fork, jammed it in, and then they turned on the microwave with the door open.
Oh my god.
And he was like terrified and told everyone this is a horrible idea. Everyone said he was an idiot and didn't know anything. So he's like, I just went for a walk for a half an hour and the rest of my family got irradiated. And by the time I got back, something had happened and I didn't have any turkey that year.
Wow.
Microwaves won't kill you instantly, but it's gonna be very uncomfortable if you get hit by them. Basically vibrating your molecules so they heat up.
Oof. No,
Mm.
thank you.
Have you
I
guys
remember
seen? Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say when I was young, they still said, "Don't stand in front of the microwave while it's going. They could get you. They could get you."
You can stick your face against it. It's not gonna do anything.
Or the TV will rot your brain. That term came
Mhm.
from the super old school tubes that actually would irradiate out stuff from like the first generation TVs.
Cathode ray
Oh,
tubes. Yeah.
Well, cathode rays were even the most, like, from when I was a kid, that was still cathode rays. And those were considered mostly safe.
Yeah.
But there was something with like the first generation of TVs where they actually had like radiation that came out in smaller amounts from them.
Have you guys seen what radiation actually like is like in real time? It's fascinating. I think there's actually a really cool GIF. I've always known like I've watched ever since I watched Chernobyl, the series, which is just staggeringly good, by the way.
hmm
I went on this rabbit hole of like I know how a nuclear reactor works now, of like the EMK types, and the ones used in Japan and the ones used in Sweden and all kind of all stuff. I've so many Reddit articles, and I was just like, what is radiation? Like, what makes something radioactive, and why is that bad for not only us but for things? And I couldn't like I read a bunch of stuff and it was starting to make sense, but it wasn't until it was visualized for me and explained by this super simple video. That was a really cool guy on YouTube. And it's basically tiny bullets because they're giving off, I think it's neutrons or electrons. They're just
Mm.
firing off constantly because it's so unstable. And the reason why that's bad for you is that they're going through you. Like they're actually penetrating your body. And that's just why you see people with like very intense sudden radiation burns. They start bleeding because they've had so many micro holes shot through their body. And there's one little GIF. It's not gory or anything. It's radiation. There's uranium in vacuum smoke, I think. Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, like those like vapor chambers or whatever, where you can see
Yeah.
the little.
You can actually see what it is, and it's fascinating. So here we go. Put this in D&D. So that's radiation. That's why when the Geiger meter, the thing that clicks, it's picking up those fired molecules, and that's why it clicks faster and it becomes almost a solid sound when it's just getting barraged by these things. And that's why if you pick up a piece of like radiated graphite or uranium and your hand starts bleeding, it's because you've had thousands of single neutron-sized molecules shot through your hand. That's what it is. I'm like, oh my god, it clicks. It makes so much sense now. Oh,
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
so that's what radiation is. It's just
Well,
very,
actually,
very
like,
tiny things
they
shooting
can
through
just
you.
like damage cells, not like
Yeah.
kill them, or like, that's how like cancer and tumors and stuff can.
Well, yeah, that's the goal of chemo. It's to destroy the cancer cells by targeted radiation. So while your body regrows healthy cells, the cancer ones are killed off. It's just the goal is to kill the cancer faster than you. That's what chemo is.
Reminds me of how incredibly excited and unbelievably terrified I am to see Oppenheimer.
Oh yeah, I'm really
The
excited.
movie's going to be amazing, but not watching it in theaters because it looks too scary and intense.
I've been looking around trying to figure out what I would like to see it in theaters, because it's like a different number of frames per second and a certain millimeter of film. But apparently, the closest place to see it as it should be is Missouri. I was like,
Why?
it's a big film projector. It's a film IMAX. We used to have one at the zoo.
Isn't
Yeah,
it
Here?
there's
there?
an IMAX at the zoo, right?
The zoo movie theater closed during the pandemic, apparently,
Oh, I didn't know
and
that.
hasn't been open since, which I wasn't aware of. And that was
Oh,
just
shoot. Yeah, that sucks.
Roseville Theater at Rosedale Mall has an IMAX screen.
well, and then there's laser IMAX, which is different than film
Yeah,
IMAX.
is it like the legit IMAX though?
Yeah, there's fake IMAX, medium fake IMAX, real IMAX, and super real IMAX from the articles that I've read. And Oppenheimer needs to be on the super real IMAX, and we don't have any of those here anymore. So you can see it on the good IMAX, but it'll also be in crappy and super crappy IMAX as well.
I'll just watch it on my television.
Because apparently it changes aspect ratio at different times throughout the movie. And that's a key part of the viewing experience.
Interesting.
I miss seeing The Hobbit in like 2,000 frames per second and getting nauseous along with everyone else that watched it. So I want to get nauseous with the first wave on this one.
I haven't been to a movie theater since the first Transformers movie.
I get it.
I cannot stand people when watching movies. Like anyone who talks.
Oh, I thought it was just because of the Transformers movie.
Oh no.
Why do you go on a Sunday night
They just turned me
or a
off.
Sunday morning?
I actually really enjoyed the first Transformers movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was just big giant robots fighting each other and cool explosions and military porn, basically. But yeah,
I
it was
love that
great.
whole franchise. I think they're awesome. I can't wait to see Rise of the Beast. I'm so disappointed I haven't gone to see it yet.
But
I'll see it
yeah,
with
I when I watch
Pretty sure
movies,
it's already on digital.
it's dark. No one talks. No food. No crunching. No commentary.
I like going to the theaters well after the movie's been out during a
Mm.
work day, like at like 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah. If
So you're
like
the
only
only
one there.
person there. That's how Brittany and I saw Frozen. It was like a snow day or something. So the roads were like super crappy, but the theater was still open. So we went and we were the only people in that theater.
That's great. Very cool.
Remembering a quote from a show, the Neighbors. They had aliens who were neighbors, and at the beginning of the show, once they figured it out, they said, "Okay, we have some questions for you." And it was a bit where they rattled off a list of questions, and the last question was, "And those Michael Bay movies, they seem really on point. Is he onto something there, or is it just us?" And then the aliens, they rattle off a quick string of answers that's all like bullet points right on the nose. And then he gets to the end and he pauses and leans to his wife and says, "How do they know about Michael Bay?"
That's
Okay,
funny.
I'm done.
All right, ready to jump back in?
Let's
Mhm.
do it.
Okay, you guys are on the roof.
Well, Consul's sleeping at the second floor.
Yeah, that was mostly for
Ishmael's asleep.
Oh,
and Barkwan.
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 The first Bark. Bark 1.
So, do you mind if I call you Quan?
Sure. Whatever you like.
It's shorter to spell. I mean, say.
Spell too. That's very wise of you to notice.
I just learned to read and write recently. He points to Council sleeping over there. He showed me.
That's wonderful. Seem
Council's
like you have a. Go ahead.
Council's whispering and twitching about murder when he's sleeping. It's like kill.
Like, dog having like a vivid dream, like running in his sleep.
Yep.
Oh yeah, tearing apart a flying bird or birdman, just his teeth.
So, Wander, right? Wander.
Mhm.
How are you?
Well, the truth is, I don't know actually. From whence I came. I mean, I know the gods put me here one way or another. Beyond that, it all seems to be chaos at the moment.
Yes. There was another in your group.
There was indeed. It appears he did not survive. I will miss him.
I heard his legend. He sounded like a very courageous warrior.
Self-serving son of a gun.
He. I have heard some of the fleshies refer to alcohol as liquid courage, and as a result, Tazal was frequently filled with enormous amounts of courage.
Oh, I would know. I don't touch the stuff. Clouds the judgment.
I will miss him.
I knew it.
He taught me to fly. I was looking forward to further instruction from him. Shall we talk about something else?
Sure. We don't have to talk either. If you've had a very, let's say, eventful day, if you need to be in silence, I understand.
Yeah, Wonder looks off into the distance.
And both of you guys can roll, make me some perception checks.
15.
12.
Yeah, Wander, your mind is a little preoccupied for the watch. Barkwan is much more able to concentrate, to focus, especially on goings on and knowing the patterns of the non and what the plans were. You have a pretty good eye and ear for anytime something is coming near, and like making sure that it's as quiet as possible, making sure that you guys stay hidden. The minus the one or two maybe close calls where some non got within a building or two of where you are. Quiet evening. Quiet first watch, at least. Who's next?
Consul.
Okay.
He waits for everyone to go to sleep before sitting on the roof and doing his watch.
So Barquan's still up there waiting. And as you approach, he would say, I did not get your name.
Council.
Pleasure to meet you.
For now.
Would you like company on this watch?
No.
Okay. I will go downstairs.
New council sassy. My goodness.
Council has
Meow.
man.
Council just his mask just like watches him go downstairs, and then he waits. Like you hear the sounds of him lying down or whatever. I'm gonna pull out the journal.
Yes, read from it. Read from it.
Mostly just to see its quality, because he hasn't looked at it since the ship underwater incident.
Okay. So just seeing like if it's holding up or anything.
Yeah, like is it because it's been in there for a while, and hopefully because it wasn't moved while it was drying, it wouldn't be too damaged. But
Mm-hmm. Okay. You take out the journal from its metal box, traditionally on your hip. Looking it over from the outside, it looks well enough. You can tell it has certainly seen water. You know, the pages are wavy now. It doesn't like close quite as flat as it used to. So it is not damaged, but it is very worn.
okay,
Make me a investigation check.
13 plus 2, 15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
As you're kind of turning the diary over in your hands and looking at it, there is a folded piece of paper that falls out of the back. Looking just within the back cover, what you can see is there was basically a glued page
Oh,
in the back of the book that, due to the water damage, has become unglued, and this folded piece of paper falls out.
okay. I look at it. I look at it carefully.
I wonder what it says.
Okay.
You should try and read it.
Is it's folded like lengthwise? He's just kind of
It's quad folded. So
Okay.
this is clearly, it was a page of the diary that was torn out and folded in four, and then hidden in this back page.
okay. He's gonna open it carefully.
How
Okay.
many times can we die in the span of 3 sessions?
Let the bodies at the floor.
You know what's going on, Council's head.
TPK, any percent speedrun.
We are failing on any percent. We're on session
Yes.
48.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're 100% in this campaign.
What you find, I just sent to you.
Well, I think you sent it just to Alex and not in the whole shared channel so we can all see it.
I sent it just to him. Everybody has to have secrets.
I'm teasing.
But as you read, you feel no rage. There is no desire to destroy, to consume, to take back, to harm.
Okay. Um,
And that's for you to do with what you wish. If you want to share with the group, you can.
is this in the same handwriting as the rest of the journal?
It is. This it appears to be a note from the writer of the journal, the creator of the journal.
Council is going to take off his mask and stare at it and just kind of cry quietly for most of his watch.
Go ahead and make me perception check with disadvantage.
I was gonna say disadvantage.
Yeah, for sure. No, stop it. All of the friggin' playlists that I liked now have ads in them.
Yeah,
Every single one. And that's
it's impossible to get away with them without stealing money. Oh, disadvantage. I was gonna say that was a really good money. That was a really good roll. Okay, well, I rolled a 19 and then I got a 7. So 7 plus 6, 13.
13.
Mm-hmm.
Even with your at least half of your senses being occupied by other activities at this point, your ears still work well enough. And every once in a while, you will hear movement in the water, but it is, half a block away. Mostly what you hear is just quiet and yourself.
Okay. Yeah, he feels like kind of a mess right now. He will wake up. Who was last watch? Felix? No, Ishmael, yeah.
Mhm.
He'll wake up Ishmael without saying anything.
Does he have his mask? Go
Yeah,
ahead,
he
sorry.
puts it back on. He collects himself.
Okay, so I don't notice anything amiss with him.
He wakes up Ishmael and goes to bed.
Ishmael does ask, though, how was the watch? Anything of note?
Some movement. Nothing dire. If the Non are still patrolling, then they may have won. Something to keep in mind.
Is watch from the rooftop the best spot?
I don't know. Easier to see down than up.
Are you able to see the entrances for where the others are?
No. But you can see the road.
I wonder if it would be safer to take watch indoors and keep an eye on the door.
Maybe. That's up to you.
Ishmael does that. He's not much of a scout, so he stays inside and just watches. There's just one main entrance.
There's two. So, Jones' shop was what used to be two houses that, through her work and the Dorn, they basically made into one house, one elongated house. So there are two entrances into it. One is into like the place with the forge, and one is in more of like the living quarters and like her own personal mini forge that she had within her own domicile.
Is there a place to stand where you can see both?
Yeah,
Or not
certainly. If
Okay.
you were standing in either, it's all kind of one big long room,
Okay.
so you'd be able to see
Yeah.
both doors, no problem.
Okay. He's in there and maybe does some pacing around and that kind of a thing, but otherwise stays in that main room so he can see the exterior exits or entrances.
Okay. You do not have dark vision, correct? Or do you because of your barbarian stuff? No, that was Revan. Okay, so
Yeah.
perception check with disadvantage.
Well, is there any light indoor? Like, do we have?
Inside, no, unless you guys have lit something.
Felix doesn't really think of that.
Yeah, I guess.
Being the only light in the night.
Yeah, then yeah. So I don't have dark vision. So then he's definitely pacing, so he can get within clear shot of door, pace back, get in clear shot of door, that kind of a thing. If that makes sense. I mean, you want me to roll disadvantage perception?
Yeah.
I know I'm not watching right now, but when one council was watching, is there moonlight? Is it pitch black or is it overcast still?
If you recall, there is no moonlight.
Oh, there is no moonlight. That's right.
Jack, what
there
were you?
is-
Sorry, interrupted. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say the green dome over this area gives off some bit of light, but it is very dim. And Jones' shop is not on one of like the main streets where there are the lamp lights.
Okay. I think Adam rolled a 1.
Yeah, but what were you saying about the whole party getting killed 3 sessions in a row or something? That's a 1.
Okay.
At disadvantage. My second roll was a 1.
Okay. Luckily enough, during your watch, there isn't anything that was going to happen. The main thing to happen was during the first watch. So despite spending most of the night not knowing what is going on around you within the confines of the building or directly outside of it, nothing happens.
Can I retcon one thing from my watch? I can say what it is, and then I guess you can tell me yes or no.
Yeah.
While Ishmael is pacing, he most definitely takes some swings as he approaches each door.
That is probably why you failed. Yeah, like why you have a 1.
Yeah.
Is
When he
you're that like super tense, like just ready to attack anything that you see, and so you're not actually paying attention. Just like the slightest bit of movement, you're just sword.
Yeah. A lot of thrusts, slashes, just assuming there's an invisible Dwarven in here.
Yeah, you don't attack anything, or you don't catch anything, and you don't see anything.
Okay. I guess as watch ends and the sun comes up, I'll rouse the party.
Okay. Yeah, sun does indeed come up. It is no longer overcast in the sky. It is going to be a bright, sunshiny day. And we can take this opportunity to roll for health for those who need to do so.
Yay!
Oh,
Wait, what? Was this not a long rest?
This is a long rest.
Roll. Gotcha.
Prior
Yep.
to this, you didn't have
Yep.
your next level. But now waking up, you are at the next level.
Gotcha. I was
Ooh,
confused for a minute.
I rolled a 6.
D10, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed my freaking roll thing. It's definitely cocked. Okay.
I mean, a 6 is pretty good. It'd be silly not to take it. I'm gonna take it.
You
So
would
we
have
got
got a
one.
5 with me, so.
Okay. I'm at 125.
Dang, yo.
I get level 11 fighter. Wee.
All right, should I go? No?
You don't roll for health.
I was just teasing. I don't know.
The special players.
Oh no, sorry. You do. Yes, sorry. You do. My apologies.
Okay.
Is it D6 or D8?
D8.
D8. Okay.
Yep.
My apologies.
I got a 6. So I think I'm going to take that.
I also got a 6.
Woo.
All right.
That was a good one. Everybody else doesn't have to.
Wow. I have extra attack times 2 now. I get 4 attacks around.
Yeah, that's fighters.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
That's only
Imagine
because I have a crossbow feat. Because normally it's 3, because it's attack and then bonus attack, bonus attack. Because I have light crossbow and the crossbow feat, I get an extra attack.
So it's only if you're using your crossbow you get 4?
Yeah. If I'm using any other
that's
weapon, it's 3.
nuts. That's freaking nuts.
It's 1d6 plus 6, so 4d6 plus 24.
So potentially 48 damage without a crit
Wow.
Woo!
per round.
I don't hit hard, but I hit frequently.
Mm.
But without armor, I'm not really a frontlander anymore.
But
Sad.
do you roll an attack for each one of the 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot more potential to miss. Okay.
Generally only land like 1 or 2 around.
Yeah.
That's impressive though. If you land a bunch and roll high, you're gonna just smoke somebody.
I'm kind of build council as like anti-chaff. Like fighting a whole bunch of non is the ideal. But
Yeah.
like one big super armor guy, it's like
Not super great. Just turn him into a pincushion.
Giant kraken.
yeah, like a kraken.
Oh, you guys would never face one of those.
What DM would do that?
A monster. Okay. So everyone is awake now, and within Jones' shop.
Felix is again still repairing his armor. A lot of it's looking better now. When I at 10th level, I did take mending, so I can do mending as a cantrip.
It's a good spell.
Do you
Cantrip.
need to collect the bones from the non, Felix?
Well, it's not a
That
bad
our new
idea.
companion recently acquired for us.
Yeah, could always use more material. Are you
Collect
going to use
Collect the bones?
Of his enemies.
Barjuan, Felix makes his armor out of bone.
Let nothing go to waste, is what I say.
Quite effective.
Yes, yeah. Never waste a blessing from the Rui, I understand. Yeah.
I like his religion.
Immediately starts coping. Yes, circle of life. That's how it should be. Nothing unnatural.
Mansa, are you gonna
Harvest the organs of my kin. That's fine.
are you gonna use that gun? Do you fancy the crossbow more?
I am not as familiar with it, despite it having nearly identical trigger and aim structure. So for some reason, on
The
a
recoil is-
weird cosmic level, I don't know how to use it.
It's got quite a bit of kickback. Don't blame you.
I broke purpose.
I'll take it off your hands.
Someone's
I-
salty about not being proficient with guns.
I give Felix the pistol.
He could change his subclass to gunslinger if he wants.
Can I?
I
There's,
mean,
There might
You'd
be a
have to
feat.
take that as like a separate class.
Oh, so no, technically yes, but also no.
Technically, yes, but also no.
We should make haste for the ship.
We need to scout the west exit to see if it's clear enough for us to leave. But yes, we do need to get to the ship.
Ishmael goes
Also,
to the roof. Go
there
ahead,
were
sorry.
lots of non moving around last night, and they weren't in a hurry. Which means they either won, or the Dawn have set up a garrison somewhere, and they're at a stalemate.
I still think nighttime would have been an easier way to sneak out of the city, but we'll have to go slow and be extra careful.
True.
What awaits us on the ship?
We have a special ship that allows us to travel over water and land. It is also the fastest way we can get to where we need to be, which is under the city, or finding a way to do so.
And it is safe.
What did you see when you were coming in, Barkwan? How did you get into the city?
DM? What did I see and how did I get in?
You came in as a part of the non-force.
Ah.
I
So
thought
you
he had appeared there just out of the blue.
No, yeah, he came out of the darkness.
He just gave that impression because I wasn't doing a great job on watch. That's all.
I infiltrated the city with the Nan. I fell among the ranks. They did not know I was not part of their mission.
You look very similar, Council says sarcastically.
This one, I like you. You're stern,
How did they
but
not notice?
silly.
Okay.
Uh, Felix, you recognize that the armor and armaments of Barkwan are dwarven.
Interesting.
Like from Touchstone,
No,
just ancient, maybe like old.
Mhm.
Like there could be lots of different Dwarven armor.
Yeah, the patterns, the geometric shapes of it are very Dwarven in nature.
Could you tell me about your armor?
It was given to me before leaving. This is new for me, let's say. I haven't left the Crystal Cathedral in many years.
How did the non make armor? Do they make armor under the ocean? Or do you
My
find
people collect. A lot of your trash, so to speak, winds up down by us. We will repurpose, we will reuse. The armor you're looking at very much could have been found and upcycled, so to speak.
likely was, because that's looks
Yes, this is
Dwarven armor.
this is not non-made. You can see by the patterns and the overall structure.
On the topic of armor, Felix, do you have an approximate memory of the state of my armor after I died? We're in a smith, and if only the straps broke, then we may be able to collect some leftovers to repair it. But if the plates are damaged, then
Do I know?
Make me a Intelligence check. You probably had a good idea of it.
20.
20. Yeah, when Council turned into his other form, essentially, yeah, the armor just burst at the seams. So the like obsidian-like actual armor was still intact, but the connecting bits were just completely destroyed.
Yeah, I could probably fix it back up if I can find the materials here.
That would greatly help us in combat situations, as I am nude for the 4th time.
Were a lot of the straps just like torn and they're like still attached on either end of the plates?
Yeah, probably beyond what your mending would be able to fix, if that's what you're
Okay.
thinking.
Yes.
Yeah, you would likely need new material.
Okay. Well, if I can't find any leather here, I'll just skin the non outside.
Non-leather.
We're just turning everything into leather in this game.
Hey man, we're gonna make
Storm is like, yes.
we're gonna make Born leather at some point.
I don't think I don't think Naruya would like that.
He's like, by the goddess.
Where
Council's
is
gonna-
this? Where is
Council's
this
gonna
armor?
leather. It is on our ship.
Okay. Not in the crater.
No,
No, he died somewhere else.
I did. Hence why I am crudely held together. He shows Bakwan the stables.
He leans in. He's like, "This is not well done. Who did this?"
One-eyed pirate and a lot of short people and a very strong man the size of a building.
Are you sure it wasn't a no-eyed pirate? This is the shoddiest.
It is unfathomably painful. I am in a great deal of agony all the time.
I can only imagine. Hold on, let me think. Maybe there's something I can do to help with the pain. Let me think.
Please don't.
DM is. I won't touch. DM, is there anything that I think I could concoct to help him with the pain? Just flavor-wise, not even like actual HP.
No.
Okay.
I mean, eventually,
Is there a Walgreens? I can go get a ibuprofen.
it's like go pick up some Advil. He'll be fine tomorrow.
If we buy something from CVS, the 3-foot-long receipt we can maybe use is like. I'm just kidding.
We can use that to mend the armor.
Nectar of the poppy.
If we go north to Torn Country, they will sell you Codian right over the counter. It'll fix you right up.
In a strange mental state, the pain is actually grounding me right now, so I do not resent it.
I've never seen a torn before, yet you're way more fascinating. Huh.
I appreciate it. You should see it when he transforms. I'm gonna go back to looking for leather to help with Phoenix, but with a sense of urgency because we need to like get going.
I'll assist.
So does one of you want to roll perception with advantage, or do you both want to roll perception?
Oh,
I
with
have
perception,
+6.
I give counsel
I want to help counsel.
Okay,
advantage.
so you can roll with advantage, Council.
So I rolled a 10, and then I rolled a 15, so 21.
21.
Yep.
Looking around, you do easily spot a couple strips of leather that you would be able to use to repair your armor. You do also find near Joan's smaller forge that she had for her like personal projects. You find more of those like metallic filings that Felix had gathered before, as well as on like because the mini forge is like essentially on top of a counter, like an air fryer would be, and underneath that counter, you find a ring of keys as well. Probably not important.
I give the
I
keys
would-
to Felix.
Yeah, I think about where the nearest lock that one of these keys go to, and look at the compass.
Council's chest.
That's okay. You
You're
Where-
using the
where's the-
compass to loot her home.
Hey, this is the Smith's home. There could be something very useful from here.
so the compass actually points directly south.
Okay, like if I go the furthest southernmost point of the house, it's still pointing south.
It is still pointing south. Yeah, and stepping side to side, you can see that it is still pointing like beyond the house. It is not something inside.
Yeah, like it's pretty far away.
If-
Now,
There's no use for them here, and maybe something we can give later.
it's true. I like Joan. I wouldn't want her to lose these. I could either leave them here, risk them getting looted, or take them with me. I'll take them with me.
You might be able to melt them into something useful.
Somebody else is surely going to steal them, so I'm going to steal them in order to get them back.
Is there like paper or something? Can we like write a note for her? Dear Joan, we stole your gubbins.
I mean,
They're
you
safe.
have cartographer gear or whatever, don't you?
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll take a sheet of paper and just say, Joan,
Council was here.
this is Felix. I have your keys.
This is a ransom note?
If you ever want to see your keys again, bring 4 million bars of gold.
I was gonna say like some Krispy Kreme, but that works.
Raw alchemite. Just raw alchemite.
Raw alchemite. Yeah, he'll leave a note.
Okay. Cool. You do so.
Shall we head west carefully?
Very carefully.
Before we leave, Barquan, can you give us a rough summary of your abilities so I know how to calculate them into our strategies?
Sure. I can, as you know, help cure ailments from battle. I can do a lot of things to, let's say, control environmental forces. I can attack with thunder, so to speak. I can attack with lightning. What else are you looking to know?
Can you dig, or fly, or swim? Well, I know you can swim. That's a silly.
He looks down. I cannot fly. I cannot dig.
Okay, so
I can find things. I can ask Naruya for help if dire enough. And I can protect us. There are few
What-
things I can do to protect.
What do you mean by ask Naruya for help?
As a 5th level spell slot, there is a way for me to try to speak to Naruya.
from
It involves prayer and time.
we had a vision. Who was it? Someone had a vision where they saw Erinth pacing, and she was in front of some devices that looked like they had people in them, like tubes, cryotube kind of things.
Mm-hmm.
One of them was Harin, right? In the device, if I remember correctly. I might have pulled the vision. my previous notes.
Yeah.
But the other one was Naruya. I think that's right.
The DM is nodding, so I think you're right.
I have reason to believe that not all of the gods are trustworthy. However, Naruya may not be one of them.
Oh, I can assure you she is trustworthy.
Now we have abilities to find things, to see people. Lots of things to figure out the mysteries of this world. The one thing we don't have right now is an answer to a yes or no question.
Which is,
Do we have everything we need to get in that door?
well, the problem is if we ask about the door, then it's going to focus on the door, regardless of any other means of getting in. If we can circumvent the door, that may be a better way to go. Because if we ask how to open a door that has no walls, it's still going to point us to a key.
A door that has no walls?
Yes. Like if there's a door alone in a field with no building around it, and you ask the question how to open the door, it's still going to make you find a key to open the door, despite you
mean,
being able to walk around it.
Instead of
just wanna
saying just
know-
walk around the door.
Right.
I feel like we keep asking for keys to this door, and maybe there's 10 keys to the door that all can open the door on their own. And we have a few of them.
That's a good point. And
If I have the key to the door in my hand, I want to know.
I have an idea. Council's going to use paper to write down 1 through 10 on different sheets of paper.
Okay.
And then he's going to put them on the ground. Kind of spread them out. Felix, think of the paper that has the number of keys we need to open the door.
the smallest number of
The
keys we need.
smallest number of keys required to open the door.
Oh, this is
Mm.
clever.
Did you put the paper in a circle around Felix?
Yeah, I just kind of.
Being
We've
close
made-
to it, we can.
We've made him a sundial.
Yeah, I think
I'm
Think of-
picturing Martian style, like the little.
I'm thinking of the piece of paper here that has the number on it that is equal to the lowest number of keys required to get through the door.
Jeez. This is some friggin' meta magic bullcrap right here.
Did you ever think we'd go this far with the compass?
I mean, I knew you'd go this far with
We're
the
gonna
compass. I
Ouija
agree with
board
you.
things with this compass.
The compass points in the direction of 6.
6!
all of them.
Council poops.
You know, I'd be a lot more upset if it pointed at 1.
You make a good point there, friend. You make a good point.
You guys see Barquan like looking and counting with his fingers the number of keys on the key ring that Felix took.
Another idiot. Why? I don't think the keys is the way to go.
What do you think is the way to go?
I think our goal is to get access to the heart of the world. Assuming that the door is the way to do it may be foolish. So we can ask, you recently tried the easiest way to get into the heart of the world. And it pointed to assumingly the center of the city.
Should I say the easiest way for a party of 5 land-walking adventurers to get to the center of the world is?
I can swim.
I have no issues with swimming.
What?
I too can swim.
Felix
Yeah,
and
we
I
do
are the
have
only
issues with krakens. Though.
Oh, I've heard of those.
What is the fastest method for us? No, that's not going to point at an object. And if we say the fastest way, it may point in the same way as the easiest, because those are vague definitions.
What if you ask of the simplest entrance?
Maybe the door.
Didn't we already go through this exercise before the attack on the temple?
What if
I wasn't
what if
here. I don't know.
All right,
if,
Ishmael, where do
as
we
a-
go next?
what if as a player I really want to know what happens to Tersing? So we should go there.
If you want to pursue collecting 5 more objects that have been as potentially complicated to
5
collect,
more?
we need 6, Felix. We have 1 or 2, so 4 more. We have the
Yeah.
amulet and the hammer.
And
The compass,
is the compass not one?
the pistol.
I
Yes.
don't believe either of those are keys.
The mirror?
Ask the compass to point to the number of keys we already have.
There we go. Yes.
Finally. Oh,
How many
Oh,
keys do
man.
we have?
There
Put
we
it at the
go.
I was like,
table.
is that not the follow-up question?
There we go. Please be 6. The 6th key was Ishmael all along. It's his heart.
The 6th key is the friends you made along the way.
Yeah, I think of the piece of paper that has the number of keys that we have in our possession as a party.
Compass points at 5.
Whoa! What? Seriously? Points at 5. So compass, hammer, necklace, pistol,
Mirror.
the mirror. We have the mirror. I totally forgot about that.
I
Yeah.
forgot about the mirror.
I
Who
forgot.
has the mirror? Who
We
has
made
it?
a replica.
We have. Don't worry about it, Mr. Non-Man.
So,
Mr. Non-Man was my father.
Please,
Non-man.
call me Barqua.
Mr. Nutman,
I am but one.
bring me,
bring me
bring-
some waves. Bum,
bum
bum,
bum
bum.
bum.
I don't have the mirror. Wait, do I? Do I have the mirror?
Who has the mirror?
I don't. I
Do I
have.
believe him?
You
I can
gotta
only attune
remember.
to so many items. So
Do I believe him?
I just start shedding the magic items.
Didn't Wanda have it? No.
All right.
Ishmael.
I asked the compass to point
I
at
have the necklace,
person
not the
who
mirror.
has
The
the mirror.
Are you kidding me?
Okay.
Who did you really not have it? I thought you had it. I have the necklace.
What? Okay,
have
you have the necklace.
The
It's
do
been
I,
a really long time between our.
Do I have to? Do I
wait,
have
who
to,
has
do I have to
Revan's
pray about it?
pistol? Do I have
think
Revan's pistol?
I think I actually might have it. I might have the mirror. Sorry, everyone.
Or I think I gave you Revan's pistol, right?
Yeah, Felix.
Felix? Yeah, I gave it. Yeah, because you were
Ishmael's
really
looked at
interested
it a few
in.
times.
Yeah. Okay. So the only thing I have notes that I have is the necklace, and I was using that in the temple right before the battle.
That's right, because the compass was each key has been was a gift to one of the gods,
Yeah.
and the compass was a gift to Alacanther.
Yep.
Pistol was a gift to Erinth, the amulet to Horan, the mirror to Naruya, and the hammer was his own, I guess. And then Tersink has whatever.
The walking stick. The friggin' walking stick.
Which is south, right?
Yep.
Oh, so we got to go get that. Okay. Well, we need
I
to.
thought we needed like 4 more
Go
keys. I
on
was
an
like,
adventure.
So their
I-
counsel is the answer to your question from a moment ago. We need the
And-
ship, and we need the walking stick.
and if we didn't have this conversation, we wouldn't know that.
Well, I was going to say we should get to the ship anyways, and we would have come to the same conclusion, as we are a party of intelligent travelers.
So the mirror is safe, yes?
Are we ready to
Yes.
go?
It's safe. Do you really want it? I don't know how to get this unattuned, so
No, you keep it. I'll just make sure to protect you.
if I figure out how to get it unattuned, then be my guest.
No, with Neruria's guidance, we will find out all the answers.
Oh,
To the
no.
ship?
Councilus is like, yes. We need to make sure the west gate is clear. If it's not, we may have to figure out how to get out the south gate.
Ishmael goes
can-
to the roof.
I can likely blend in easier going through the streets if needed.
It depends who won, but yes.
Yes.
I will cast a spell real quickly to conceal us as we go. And
Let's see what Ishmael finds on the roof first.
Yeah.
okay.
Ishmael quick ran up to the roof to take a peek, a look-see.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
I collect my sheets of number paper in case we need them in the future.
It's not a bad idea.
As he's looking, he also does some gazing with the necklace, in addition to just looking. Like checks out a little area, necklace 2, kind of turns to the next spot.
The
That makes
orb?
sense.
The true seeing orb?
Huh?
Yeah, not the necklace.
The
yeah,
the
piece of-
stone
yeah,
thing.
yeah,
the
piece of
that it
upper
was. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. What did you say to roll? Sorry.
Perception.
That is a 15.
15.
Mhm.
Looking around Jones' shop, the immediate area, you can see maybe a block in each direction. There are none to the south. There don't appear to be any to the north. Hard to tell with the water to the east because they can submerge and swim so quickly. So you're less sure about that direction. And west, you see some, but they're scattered.
And the ones I can see to the south and to the west, are they just kind of chilling? Are they patrolling?
Various activities, but most of them seem to be moving in some way.
Okay. I relay what I can see to the party. I come back down and relay that to the party.
Seems like west may be not the safest way to go, but the least noisy.
Yeah.
We may have to
can
find our way out.
stay to the shadows as much as possible, and if we must take battle, we certainly have overtaken the Non before with little effort. He says,
Wonder
looking
you
towards our
wanted
new
to-
friend.
If need be, I should be able to conjure some type of weather to obscure vision.
Wonder you had something you wanted to cast on us.
I did. I cast Pass Without Trace on myself. A veil of shadow and silence radiates from you, masking you and your companions from detection for the duration each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, which is the party, including you as a +10 bonus on dexterity stealth checks and can't be tracked except by magical means.
Dang!
No tracks or other traces of its passage either.
That's
What's the duration?
1 hour.
Oh, dang. That's a nice spell.
Yeah.
We will
that's
need
awesome.
to be quick because we have multiple miles to cross.
It's true. I can certainly cast it more than once if necessary.
You can walk
Huh.
like 3 miles in an hour, can't you?
We,
Yeah.
How big is the burlesque Barquan? I think burlesque. How about
Burlesque!
How big
Hello,
is
the
the
baby.
burlesque?
You hear music kick in. Bum 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 bum.
His tail just has one long fishnet on it.
it's
And he constantly thinks he's been captured.
the
We need
Non
to
are
stop. We're
smaller.
done for the night.
The non are smaller, and some of them are tiny. I assume he's not one of the tiny ones, but
No.
is he? Are you
He's-
pretty much medium-sized
Medium.
creature? Or are you okay?
He's
Okay.
medium size.
Okay. Are you just for flavor text? Are you like what's your approximate height?
Like 5'5".
Okay. Okay.
Like council
nothing-
side.
Yeah. Okay. So little babies compared to Ishmael.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah. Any man under 6 foot is basically a baby.
We
I mean, yeah, that's true of real
Jack and
life
I.
too. I mean,
we
Yeah.
want to check on the villagers or the townsfolk.
I
as much
firmly believe we have caused more harm than good. I believe simply leaving them out of it at this point would be a blessing for them.
And I agree with Wanda. As much as my heart does ache for the troubles they have been through, the faster we resolve this issue, the more lives we may potentially save.
Do we know who's controlling the city now?
No.
No.
He who has the biggest sword.
Seeing how lackadaisically the non are meandering around, I'm starting to think that they won. But knowing how resilient the Dwarn are, they may be holding a corner somewhere or a building. But that doesn't matter. We still need to leave the city.
It surprises me from what I know, but I believe you're right, Council, at least from what I observed on the rooftop.
The Dwarn are very efficient fighters, but there are only
Indeed.
so many of them.
I don't know how
Yes.
many of them they had, so the non could have won purely by numbers.
Agreed.
Yes.
Good riddance, I say. Screw those guys.
Barquan, I think it may be a good idea if you lead, seeing as if someone sees a non from a distance. Well, if a non sees a non from a distance, they won't assume much.
What if a non sees a non wearing Dwarn armor?
What
Is
if a
that a
non
worry?
sees a non with some pinched shiny armor?
How did he get into the city in the first place, then?
It was nighttime.
No,
I only
he
ask. I
actually
mean not
does
to
might-
accuse.
He actually might blend in because I think wearing
He's-
random.
It's not uncommon for the non to reuse things found. I I do not think I will seem suspicious.
Stay in eye contact, but yeah. Okay.
So I will lead and you will fall to the shadows?
Yes.
Under the
Okay.
protection of Wanda.
And we are going west?
Yes. We will go south from here and then west. Well, southwest from here.
Make sure to stay within 30 feet of me or it won't apply.
Well, so that I was going to ask for a bit of clarity. Will Barquan be outside of the spell's protection? So I'm a little confused. I guess I can ask that.
I
in
think he can
character,
stay
too,
in
but-
it. He should stay in it, but yeah, he could be in the
Yeah.
edge of it.
Okay, so then we don't have to worry about him getting
Right, yeah.
spotted.
Yeah.
If it gets
to,
bad, he can like step out, but
to clarify, we won't be invisible. We will be a bit harder to detect, but if we walk right in front of someone, they will be able to detect us there.
Right.
So we will be sneaking from shadow to shadow, and we won't be easy to detect. But if someone does happen to glance at us, we want them to see a familiar face first.
got it.
That makes okay.
Which which way are the shadows right now? The sun's coming up.
The sun is coming up in the east, so the shadows are on the west side of the buildings. So they're on the west side of the buildings.
Okay, so we'll do that.
Barkon would go south and then west, trying to stay on the western side of the buildings.
We'll follow.
You're also going to go south and then west?
Yeah,
We're
we'll
sticking
go
together.
as a group. Yeah.
We're
I'm
staying
le-
within 30 feet of
Barkwan-
Wander.
Barkwan's leading like 30 feet ahead while
Sure.
they're trailing behind.
Let's hit the western wall as soon as possible. We don't want to get any closer to the temple than we need to. So let's just go west until we can't anymore, then go south and exit the gate.
Okay. I will do this.
Cool. So, any who are traveling stealthily, please roll me stealth rolls. Barkwan, you are not, correct?
I
You
would
just
say,
travel.
yeah, he's trying to act normal.
Okay.
He's not trying to like arise suspicion if someone does see him.
We get plus 10 from Pass Without Trace?
That is correct.
Okay.
And we're rolling for stealth.
Yeah.
33?
31.
Wait, what do we
Yeah,
get
buddy.
for our bonus?
Plus
10.
10 to your
Okay.
stealth roll.
Holy crap!
Keep in
Yeah.
mind you're rolling at disadvantage because of your.
Yep.
Oh.
Wait.
Oh.
Well,
No,
no,
Oh,
not
he's rolling. Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant all of us. Yeah.
34.
Oh.
Wow. Barkwan, if you could make me a performance check,
22.
that'd be great. 22.
Sure. And before leaving, can we retcon that I would have said something to Wander?
No. Yeah.
Oh, no.
No, go for it.
Okay, I'm gonna cast guidance on him. That's a cantrip.
What's guidance do?
Touch a willing creature once before the spell ends. The target can roll a d4 and add the number roll to one ability check of its choice. Roll the die before or after making the ability check, and then the spell ends.
Okay.
That only lasts for a minute, but
Just in case.
performance.
Charisma.
12.
12? Okay.
So
Yeah,
wait, I get what on an ability check?
You get a d4, and you can
Oh,
add
okay.
the number roll to one ability check of your choice for the next minute.
Gotcha.
Is that a cantrip, did you say?
Yes.
It is.
So is there
Yeah.
any limit to how many can you just cast it? Okay, no.
It's
It's-
concentration.
Concentration.
Oh, so you can only have the one at a time. Okay.
One at a time. It only lasts a minute, and I have to be within touch range, so I would have to come back and bop them again. But I figure at least getting out of the gate, giving advantage on something would be, or giving us some help on something would be useful.
Yeah.
Anyway, 11, I think, or 12. What did I say? 12.
12.
12. Yeah, not super high DC. You are a non of the deep, and being around other non, you don't have to try to blend in too much. You just naturally do. For the first couple blocks of travel, you feel like you are alone because the others behind you are moving so quietly. Every once in a while, you'll kind of like just take like an odd step just to look out of the corner of your eye just to make sure they're still there, not like blatantly turning your head around to see.
Right, yeah.
And because you know that they are there, you'll like catch the tail side of them like dodging behind a building to get in the shadows. But you are just walking as confidently as ever, or slithering as confidently as ever towards the western wall. You do encounter another group of non along the way, or you see at least a group of non. Do you try to avoid them, or do you try to just
walk past?
Okay.
And I would keep an eye on their faces to like try to clock if they're seeing anything behind me.
Sure. As you are making your way past them, one of the larger of the two turns and asks you in non, just asks if you have seen anything in your patrol or in your movement.
I respond, no, I haven't seen anything. All clear.
He has no reason to not believe you, so you don't need to roll a deception check or anything.
Cool.
What a bro. Super
And
trusting.
he just kind of goes back to talking again. The rest of the party sneaks past. And I mean, eventually the Pass Without a Trace does wear off, but you guys have easily made it to the western wall by that time.
Along our travels, I would say I'd be trying to clock different blocks and see if anything has changed. Like, is it continuously non? Like, do we see anything other than non?
Mhm.
To try to get a beat of what's going on.
Okay.
Actually, likewise, console's like, who won?
Sure. Make me an investigation check, both of you. You're trying to piece together bits of information that you're gathering.
Barquan's first nat 1.
I also got a nat one.
Nice.
Council's pretty sure that we're walking on sand.
We yell back and forth at each other. I don't know who won. Do you see who won, Council?
I've got a Dawn foam finger and a non-foam finger. Let's freaking go.
I think the guards came out on top of this.
Yeah.
We still have possession of the city.
Actually, the Torn rolled in and they control the city now?
The Magister's on like some giant golem. He's like, look what I found.
I made this. You're not able. You're not. You don't know. Not sure.
Neat.
Results inconclusive. Yeah, you make your way to the west wall. It is 9:03. Do you want to end there, or?
Yeah, that would be good for tonight. I would appreciate that.
That feels about right.
That was a stonking session. That was great.
That was awesome.
Oh, it was so good.
Council no longer trusts another soul on the planet. He has 0 trusted associates.
And his change in personality, like that's an intentional. I'm metagaming a little, but like that's a. You are playing him differently, right?
I am actively playing
work.
him
Okay, right. Like you're not just playing grumpy tonight.
He's a dang hypocrite, is what he is. You're all messed up now. I can't be friends with you.
I can't be friends.
There's nothing wrong with me
anymore.
So
the difference is Council didn't choose. That's the difference.
From a player's perspective, real quick, I was I won't spoil any secret things here, but Spencer messaged me about what I wanted to do after last session, and I think like instantly I was like, well, there's no way Ishmael takes the deal. Just no, absolutely not. And then he's like,
I don't fear death. Please save me, son, man.
Well, I don't. Well, no, I don't know if I'm gonna say too much, but what you told me I had to do then, if I didn't do what I ended up doing, I don't know if I'm saying too much.
Oh, the alternative to noon was worse than noon.
Can I say what the alternative was?
Sure.
Okay, I don't know if it was spoiling. So I would have had to create a new character, and so I was like, well, okay, yeah. So I'm sure I was driving Spencer crazy, but I went back and forth. I couldn't decide on it. I couldn't figure it out. I was creating my other character for the other campaign, and finally I was just like, oh my gosh, I essentially had like D&D writer's block. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I'm going to take the deal. I can't come up with a character.
I was keeping Crystal in the loop on.
Oh, she
was
must have
taking
been
the
eating
deal
that
and who
up.
wasn't taking the deal. And up until the last day, I was like, oh man, like Adam's not taking the deal. And then
crazy
kind of changed last minute.
It was. I'm hardly ever like this, but as soon as I got the deal, I was like, I know what I want to do. I know. I just know.
I'll without saying too much, I'll reveal it during our wrap up session someday. I feel like the responses that I got were very, very good, very on point.
This is kind of how I imagine Wanda.
That's awesome.
But I'm also on fire. Yeah, Council's having a rough time. I will say the note helped. That did choke me up a bit. That was a good one.
For just a second, I was like looking at your camera. I'm like, oh, is he feeling something? Is he feeling anything?
You kept a very straight face.
Yeah, that I was definitely like doing the man thing, like I'm good. I don't have feelings. Society says I'm not allowed to.
That was a fun session.
That was great. That was great.
Some entertaining RP